This conference will now be
7 p.m.
recorded.
Monday, October 6th, 2025. The town of Cottage Grove will hold a public hearing for proposed revisions to Chapter 15 of the Town Code, Land Division and Planning Code. The town board is going to receive public comments on the proposed amendments to Chapter 15, our Land Division and Planning Code of the Town Code of Ordinances. The proposed amendments would allow town procedures and requirements for the conditional use permit applications with a recent Dane County zoning ordinance amendment. These include the no requirement anymore for a town public meeting, that the town must consider only county-provided materials to make its recommendations, and that such recommendations must have a factual basis. The proposed amendments also clarify town requirements for rezoning applications. I'll open the public hearing. Does anyone have any questions, comments? Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
No comments, questions? Motion is second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now we'll go ahead and the Cottage Grove Town Board will hold a public meeting immediately following the public hearing. You can join the meeting from GoToMeeting or attend in person. We have a quorum. The meeting was properly posted, and we'll all stand for the flag pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. All right, we have minutes from the last meeting, I guess, along with some closed session ones coming up.
Want action on the last meeting first, and then closed session?
That's fine, however,
I would move approval of the minutes that were mailed from last September 15th.
second. Motion is second to approve the minutes from our September 15th, 2025 regular town board meeting. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Do you have the next one?
I did have an extra.
Make a motion on the September 2nd one that we open it up.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve and open up the minutes of the September 2nd closed session. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign.
Okay,
Motion carried.
sorry, my name is misspelled.
On the September,
Second, the bold, when the motion,
Oh, boy.
right, the M is missing.
I like Willie-S better, actually.
You would.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Actually, I caught it.
I should have
Good
said
for
that.
you.
Yes, he's,
Don't catch my name when it's spelled wrong. Jay.
okay, I'll look closer.
it's okay to approve with the minor change in
Right.
Christie's spelling? Okay.
I move approval and we keep it closed.
Second,
Motion by Duplay, second by Christie to approve the minutes but keep them closed for the time being. Any discussion?
For September 7th, 15th.
Correct. Yes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
You're back for September 15th ones, all of them then.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, finance report and approval of bills.
I move approval of checks 38,171 and 38,199 be paid, and we make total EFT payments of $36,367.33.
Second.
Motion by Duplay, second by Fogger, to approve checks number 38171 through 38199 and the EFT payments of $36,367.33. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. You also have your unaudited cash and investment balances of $2,725,311.46 and the per diems on the back page.
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Fogger, second by Duplay to approve the per diems as presented. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Public concerns, the public's opportunity to speak to the town board about any subject that is not a specific agenda item. Yes, ma'am. Could you tell us your name, please?
Ann Weist. I live in Nondell Heights. I understand they want to put a pickleball court and a zip line in our little park. No way, Jose. Too much traffic. The park is not designed for that. The equipment we have is from the mid-70s. My husband and neighbors, when we moved out there, put the steel slide in, the steel swings, and the steel monkey bars, and it's still there. Yeah, we have this other plastic thing or whatever, but we don't need a pickleball court or a zip line.
Thank you. At the Parks Committee meeting, we had the rest of your neighbors here in attendance, and it was overwhelmingly conveyed to us not to consider any pickleball court, and so it's off the table. And although the zip line that you referred to isn't necessarily off the table, it's not on the near future project for the park, okay? We're re-examining, what if anything to go ahead
Okay.
and do to the park, okay? We had some response, as far as the positive response, I should say, for the zip line, but at this particular point in time, we're taking a wait and see attitude and looking at the situation more closely.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is Don Klonland. I'm here about some clarifications about my property at 3108 Gaston Road. For those of you who are familiar with what's going on there, at one point in time, we had 3 parcels we were trying to sell. And we actually had them sold, but the complications and cost to the buyer would have been tremendous. So that's out the window. So we're back to trying to sell the whole property as one piece. But it's possible that won't happen. So we're looking at the intergovernmental agreement between Madison and Cottage Grove, where they talk about if you have more than 5 acres parcels and it's been under one ownership, whatever, you can divide that into 2 single family residents, whatever. So my question about that is, I'm confused about the single family part of it. It's like right now, if we wanted to have horses, we're agriculture, and we could have a horse farm probably, whatever, without any problem. That's the way it's been for years. So my question is, if we split it and sell the other side, our property on the other side of the highway, on the south side. South side, yeah. And that would be 16 acres. We'd still have like 51 acres left on our side. So the single family residence is confusing to me, because I'm wondering, what does that actually mean? Does it mean you have a single family house like in the city, and you can't have horses, you can't have agriculture, you can't have farm? I wonder what that actually means. So for me, if for example, if I wanted to have horses there after I sold that, can I still do that? If I sold it to a new owner, could they do that? So that the single family residence really is so confusing to me, is what does that actually mean as far as
If you
what
didn't
can I
have,
do and what
if you
can't I
didn't have
do?
an interstate between your 2 properties, it would be simpler. But because in that agreement, it says that I think it says that the 2 residences, think of it as a residence, 2 residences are supposed to be next to each other. And a new residential lot in the town isn't supposed to be more than 2 acres per the town plan. So if that leaves extra land that is not either of the residences, you can have a 3rd lot, and that could be ag. So you could sell that 3rd lot to the person that got the new house parcel, and then they could have their house and 14 acres, let's say, to put horses on, if it was zoned right. So I mean, but the complicating thing is the fact that road is in the middle. And so that I think the town and the city would have to agree that it would be okay to put that second residence on the south side and leave the north side as it is. And I think that would be something that might be,
It's certainly worth looking into
Yeah.
with some seriousness. As Kim said,
Is the city wrong when they talk about division of 5 acres or more can be split? It doesn't say anything about next to each other, but that's the town part of it.
well, if in the IGA, in the intergovernmental agreement, let me pull it up here.
This is what the city of Madison said.
yeah,
They clarified this by saying the IGA agreed with Cottage Grove, similar places around the county, whatever, the division of 5 acres or larger parcels under common ownership into 2 single-family lots without requiring annexation to the city. Doesn't say anything about.
So here's what our ordinance says. It says the division of 5 acres or more of lands in contiguous ownership, contiguous lands within the control of a single owner that exists as of the date of this agreement to facilitate a maximum of 2 single-family homes is not considered development. And they
Yeah.
don't allow development, so that means it's okay, all
Yeah.
right, under this agreement. Lands under contiguous ownership where there is an existing single-family home and no other existing principal structures may create one new single-family home on the lands under this provision. And if you had no house already, you could make 2. To maintain consistency with the town of Cottage Grove's maximum lot size policy for residential lots, lands under contiguous ownership may be divided into 3 parcels. In this situation, the 2 residential lots shall be clustered, contiguous to each other, and the remaining acreage shall be deed restricted for the benefit of Madison to preclude future development on the remaining acreage / parcel in the town. So in other words, if you didn't have an interstate between you, you would take your house, and that would be 1 parcel. You'd create a new parcel, and you could have a 3rd parcel with the extra land. And they would be however big it would need to be to use up the rest of the land. The interstate makes it a little more complicated, but I think it would be reasonable to ask the town and the city to look at it the way that you're proposing, where you would put a new single-family residence on that south side. That would be your 3rd lot, and you would leave the whole north side alone.
Yeah, so.
correct. I'm in
that's
agreement with Kim.
That's the real confusing part of it. I mean, I presented a bunch of questions to the city, what they're doing. And so it sounded like, yeah, that's something, you could do. But like I said, the confusing part about for me is what I do that and I got sitting with 51 acres and can I have horse there? Can I sell it to somebody who has
You
horses?
still have so it depends on, that's not all in the town of Cottage Grove though, right? When you say 51 acres, how much of that is in the town of Cottage Grove?
Oh, all but 35. 35 is in Sun Prairie.
So would you still have 35? You'd have to have zoning, you'd have to have a big enough parcel there left to have zoning to allow animals, which is pretty much anything over 2 acres. And
Yeah,
then you would
so-
get 1 animal unit per acre.
1 animals per acre. So,
Yeah.
okay, so that answered one question for me because when I see the single family residence, it's confusing because is that like a house in Madison?
There are different zoning classifications for single family residences, anywhere from 2 acres up to 16 acres, really.
Okay,
Or actually half an acre, but anything over 2 acres can have animals at 1 animal unit per acre.
okay. So if you guys looked into it, then there would be and it would be okay, then it would be a possibility of me selling it to a new owner down the road to somebody who want to have horses or whatever like that, if it turns out that you guys look into it and see that that's something that's feasible. So I really appreciate it if you could look into it because of that.
Well, I think for you, if you go back to the zoning administrator from the city you've been conversing with, that's been sending,
Tim Parks.
Huh?
Tim Parks.
yeah. Tell him that you're strictly talking about the parcel south of the interstate, that you have somebody who wants to build a house on that and use the remaining acreage for ag purposes. Whether you're gonna grow corn, have a big garden, or have animals.
I mean, if you're worried about not being able to explain it good enough to him, I'd be okay with being the one to contact him if that would help. And just, because you don't have a buyer yet, right? You're just looking.
No,
for-
right now, we're trying to sell the whole property, but I mean, that, we ran into so much confusion with
But
the
you
other
would
thing. I
like-
mean, we spent 5 months trying to deal with that and then found out it just couldn't happen because it would have been too expensive.
You would
So,
like to know if that would be something the city would even consider so that you could market it that
Yeah.
way, right?
It sounds like, I mean, Tim, I sent Tim a whole bunch of questions. I think maybe he sent you a copy of them. And so this is what the city of Madison said, but I will try to pin him down more and,
Well,
what
tell
his
him to
thoughts
call
are.
me, tell him to feel free to call me,
Okay,
okay?
all right, okay. So, that would be really helpful because to know where I stand with that single thing. So, I, I guess right now I'm thinking that means you can't develop on either side once you split that unless you annex to the city.
Right.
That would be, yeah, so
Right.
that clears that up for me, whatever. So I do have somebody that would buy it tomorrow on the other side of the highway where we're trying to sell the whole property. And that's the fellow that was gonna raise Christmas trees. And he would probably have to get permission from you guys to do that or a special permit or whatever. So, but that's probably what he would do if we sold it to him. But I mean, there's all kinds of people who are interested in that property over there because it's be so good for development because they're right across the street from Mark's farm there. If he should do something, whatever.
Sure.
So that's it. So, okay, I'll do that and maybe I could, if I have a question, I can give you a call, Kim, and see if there's something, whatever. The other question is this: we have a 180-year-old farm. I mean barn, not farm. It's probably farm too. And the barn needs to come down. I mean, it's seen its better days, and so I'm a little fearful of taking it down now when a new owner comes along and wants to rebuild the barn, and the barn's been gone. The old owner tore it down. Maybe if I tore it down, I could probably get a permit to rebuild a building, right? Does that sound reasonable that I could do that?
It's all gonna depend on how it's zoned, yeah.
Okay, so I'm wondering would I be wise to wait and let the new owner, if it turns out there is one, to tear it down so he could replace it? So again, I'm trying to forego problems down the road.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
I don't
Oh,
think
smart.
that's anything, I mean, that's, I think, something you'll have to decide what's the best for you. I don't think that there's anything.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have a big enough parcel, if you keep that parcel as it is in the town, you'll have enough to build a new building. You'll have enough room to build a new building.
Okay,
So you just have to decide if you think the barn, if it's worth it to you to tear it down, or if it doesn't have any value or takes away from the sale. I mean, that's the kind of
Yeah, you
thing.
know, it's kind of an eyesore. I hate
Structurally,
to see
I
it go.
mean-
I love old barns.
Is it frame still structurally sound, or is it just the
You know,
outside walls?
It is, but it's leaning. It's been leaning for 35 years since I've owned it. And then, of course, the roof, got to have the roof. And once that happened, then it starts, half of it would be okay, the other half's not so much. So, okay, well, I thank you very much. I've been thinking about this for a long time and thought I could come and see if I could get some answers. So I will do that. I'll contact him and see where is with that. So thank you very much.
You bet. Have a good night.
All right, thank you. Good night.
Anybody else have any public concerns? All right, moving on. New business, discuss and consider adoption of ordinance 2025-10-06, amending chapter 15 of the Land Division and Planning Code.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Duplain, second by Christie to approve the ordinance amendment. And is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider approval of locations for the ATV route signage.
We got green, we got red.
Green is those signs that say all town roads are open except for otherwise posted.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what the green is.
Okay.
And then the red is actual where it'll say no UTV past this point, basically.
Really?
Can you talk a little bit about how this plan was developed? Did you do it or did you get?
Yeah,
help from the
everything-
deputies?
Everywhere there's a stop sign, that's a village that we share with the village
Okay.
or a state highway. Otherwise, it's town roads are open.
Is that segment of Violet over here, Coffee Town, is that closed or is that open? What's red?
The Coffee Town one right here, that'd be closed because it's village in between there.
Right now it's closed, or there's,
It's not open right now, yeah, right over here.
right,
Yeah, that's closed. Cause you get to pump 24 there, it's village.
they're not considering about opening up. I thought that was in the discussions about.
From,
What I know about the village is that they gave the go-ahead to draft an ordinance to whoever drafts ordinances for them, but it's probably not gonna be
Okay.
till later this year.
So it's not dead, it's just in works.
in limbo, or in work, yeah.
I mean, they're allowing those golf cart things to fly around the village, so I'm guessing that UTVs are probably right behind them. I actually saw 2 of them today.
Golf carts?
So,
Yeah, the ones they're selling out at New Tech.
Well, I thought years ago they approved electric carts,
I
didn't they? Or
I saw 2 of them running on BB today.
I'd never
in the
seen any.
village.
On
Yeah.
TV in the
Yep.
village?
Yep.
They're actual low-speed vehicle by state statute. They are licensed as a low-speed vehicle, cannot exceed 35 miles per hour. Gotta be electric powered and
And they have,
seat belts and all, some of the safety
they have way
equipment.
less crash protection than the UTV.
And,
Did they have safety helmets on?
No.
Didn't think so.
what's that, Mike?
I just asked them about their wearing of helmets.
Oh, no,
No.
no,
I would be in,
BN is open.
it is, okay.
Yep. I don't think I put them there, did I? No. Did I?
No, there's no red.
No, there's no red yet. BN is open. We just have an informational sign on north side because it's already there.
Okay.
And versus putting it down where we meet with Pleasant Springs, because we already have other ones over there, so.
You have signs up right now?
Well, yeah, remember this whole side of town's open
Right.
already. Yeah,
Okay. So
this side here, nothing's up, no.
what we're talking about here is the new stuff.
Yeah, basically everything west of N, and then some of the signage over this way is gonna get changed because they're gonna take down those ones that have an ATV on them. They're gonna actually put up our green signs that say, all town roads are open unless otherwise posted. And like Single Cow down there, we got that one stopping, obviously because of McFarland. And Advig stopping because you don't want people just thinking they can just fly out on end. And then some of those other roads I didn't even mark because you can't get to them anyway, like. There's no way to get there, so if you have no markings, they're pretty much no use then.
So on N, you've got two, red, there's stop signs?
That's an Advig, yeah.
Oh, okay, on that big, and then you got a green one right up by the village.
Yeah, that's on Nora going
Going east.
eastbound. That'll be one of those informational signs again. So eventually we'll have one of our QR codes where they can just,
And the other thing
Get
I
that.
found out is that if, for about $500, and we can talk about this at budget time if you want, but I talked to our GIS guy and he can do like an overlay on what you guys would be familiar with as an access Dane map, so like an interactive map that could be public facing, that we could have on our website, so people would be able to zoom in and out of the town and see where all these signs are.
Oh, that'd be good.
Would that tie into the QR also?
And then we could tie that into the QR code, you know, we'll put it on a page and link everything on all the ordinance and everything else, including a link to the map on the same page that the QR code references.
So there's no red spot when it comes out to 12 and 18 though from Vilas.
nope. As long as you're going, you have to go directly across,
Oh, you can go directly across.
straight across. No veering to the right, no veering to the left, you gotta go straight across. And that's on the driver.
And that on Femrite,
I'm right to Sickle Cow.
yeah.
Yep, straight across, yep.
And you can go from Vilas down to Femrite, correct? Wait, no, you gotta go,
You have to go Vilas, Hope, and then take South Hope over to Femrite. Because Hope it will be closed. That's one of the markings there. That'll be closed at South Hope. There'll be a stop sign there.
okay,
You
Is that
can't,
City
you
of
can't,
Madison?
yeah, you can't go, because we share that road with City of Madison
okay.
beyond that point. And then when you get over to Femrite on South Hope, there'll be a stop sign going towards Madison there too, because we share that part of Femrite with Madison. But you'll be able to take a left and head towards Sickle Cow, but then you won't be able to get anywhere anyway, because you'll get down to McFarland and you have to stop.
Okay.
So.
When is there gonna be, individual good maps that people are gonna be able to get at a local bar or gas station or whatever? Is that, any talk about
Whenever
that?
the ATV clubs put them together.
Yeah, like, that's what
Yeah.
are they planning on doing that?
That's not up to us, yeah. Yeah, they will, once they get everything opened up. They always share it it'll be in their interactive. So if you have one of those apps on your phone that has all the UTV trails in the state of Wisconsin, they'll basically interact that with this, this will be added in there.
They might want to make it the interactive map that Kim was talking about.
Well, they have all their maps, so, I mean, from town to town to town, they're not gonna want just ours.
No, yeah, they'll implement it into it. You'll probably can do some overlay thing, but yeah, it'll be, their map shows it as a route.
Already? It's
Yeah.
on. Okay, thank you. I think you did a good job of trying to identify.
Well, this map's a little tough to understand.
Yeah, it didn't copy through very well.
No,
Can't see the roads.
but I can understand by our conversation that, it's gonna work.
The green signs are basically just at your entry points, from
Yeah.
somewhere that you weren't, just somewhere you can get information, and the red's actually just to stop you.
So you get into McFarland and that's it. You can't go any farther?
No.
Do they have plans to do anything or?
I don't know.
I haven't heard anything about McFarland. I was wondering the same thing.
I heard Dunn was talking about town of Dunn, but I don't know if they've done anything.
Good comment.
But they're kind of,
Done.
they're done, yeah. But they're over there with Fitchburg though too, so you really don't have all that
Yeah.
city of Fitchburg over that way, so it's really tough. Cause like Pleasant Springs and that way is all open now, so. I mean, once you get going that way, you can go quite a ways.
We have to approve this or what?
Yes.
I make a motion. We approve the ATV route signage on the map. I would presume.
Yeah.
A second, Mike's motion.
Motion by Fogger, second by Christie. to, excuse me, to approve the ATV, UTV route sign or route map, excuse me. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed,
I'll abstain.
motion carried 4-0-1. Next item, discuss concerns over the recent Badger Challenge ride.
So have they shared this information with the organizers of the Badger
Yes.
Challenge?
Yes,
And what did they say?
and she's here.
Here.
Okay, good.
Okay,
Thank you for having me. My name is Abby Van Valkenburg. I am with the University of Wisconsin Department of Human Oncology Department, specifically for the Badger Challenge event. This is our large fundraising, mostly cycling, also a walk and half marathon 5K event. This is our 10th year, where we did raise just under $1 million for cancer research back at Carbon Cancer and UW. Unfortunately, we did get this news, which is equally as frustrating and disappointing to hear that when some riders don't follow all of our guidance and all of our asks and all of our rules to follow rules of the road and take up roads that we are permitting through. So we do, apologize on behalf of what happened. We do have a couple of suggestions if we were to granted using these roads in the future, but I also would like to hear back from you guys if you have any thoughts as well. We do already put out a bunch of language and emails. We also put in all the packets, and we also do a bunch of shout outs at the beginning of each wave and each race that starts, asking people to please follow rules of the road and so on. A couple of our suggestions for next year would be, because specifically Vilas Road and Gaston Road it's narrower without a shoulder, so it does make it tougher, especially when people disregard rules of the road. Our suggestion is we add a bunch of our big A-frame signage out there that it tells them to stay single file throughout that area. And we're also open to, I don't want to say threatening, but threatening our athletes. Sometimes that's what you need to do. Threatening them of, hey, single file rules of the road, or police are ticketing through this area. You'd be surprised how threats work. So that is one of our suggestions, adding that signage and opening your ticketing too. I mean, we understand that riders shouldn't be doing this, but adding that signage throughout the area that we are through the town, as well as adding more of that language than in our emails and being a little more pushy on our riders to, hey, you really need to follow these rules, that we might not be welcome back in these areas. We want to be welcome back in these areas. So we are open to doing more of that and more, more announcing. And then also, if more officers are needed, we're also happy to either local officers or Dane County to put more officers out at specific points. If you guys police deem that some of those points, it would be helpful to have more law enforcement out there. We're happy to also add that as well. So
You have people on like turns and stuff that sit there and say, hey, stop or anything, or?
No, all riders are supposed to follow rules of the road. So if it's a stop sign, you're supposed to stop just like any car.
And you know where to turn. And
Yes, yep. So at each turn, there are biodegradable stickers on the ground based off the color you're following. And there is a yard sign, turn sign placed there, and the sign is picked up at the end of the event. But that's how they know where to go, as well as they have, for some people on their bike computers, they'll have the route in there. But that's how they know where to go. But again, they're supposed to
does
follow.
everybody start at the same time?
No, we have multiple different distances that go different routes. So it's staggered, let's see, 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
This one was, there's like 13 or 14
Yeah,
together,
my thought
riding
for
down the
that,
whole part of the highway that they're to
it's-
stop cars.
my thought is either a group. Oh, that was my other thing. My other thought was we could really target some of our teams that do these together. So it could have been a team that was trying to stay together and target communication to them of like, hey, you guys can't be doing this. I understand you want to stay together, but you need to be going single file through this area. But it might be because of the aid station at the Bacon Park that could have caused where this was, that they might have just left that aid station and they were all together. Otherwise, where this area is, they're very spread out. So it's surprising to hear it's more at the end of their ride and they're very spread out by then. I mean, it's 100 miles, 100 kilometer mile, distance, 50K and 25K. So it's a pretty far distance for each one to be grouped together. So my speculation is a group trying to stay together and they probably just left the aid station. And so they happen to be together at that point. That's my speculation of
But it's
why.
not a race.
It's not a race. No, it is very much a ride. It is all for cancer research. It's supposed to be a casual. There is no timing for the
That's the one thing I was worried about.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, that would make stop signs like,
right. No, this is not a timed event. This is a casual bike ride promoted to be, I mean, they start the furthest distance starts at 7 a.m. and we don't have our last finishers until about 6:30 p.m. So they have all day to complete this ride. It's supposed to be a very casual experience throughout the countryside, I guess. Yeah, but we're very open to ideas or if it was interest
I think you
you.
hit most of the main things that I was thinking of, is just stressing it and saying,
Yeah.
hey, if you guys don't watch it, next year we're gonna have the
Right.
cops ticketing everybody.
Right, right. For example, we did, unfortunately, it's not the first time, not for this event, but for other bike events, I've been a part of the Horribly Hilly Hundreds event on the west side. And for a while, for example, we had a problem through one of the towns where people just weren't following the rules and we were pretty harsh on our riders and say, hey, guys, if you don't cut this out, they were starting too early. And they weren't starting with their elite escort. And we did some pretty harsh emailing of guys, we really need you to follow this. And that did help clean it up. From that point on, we haven't had an issue since. But that was more kinder, threatening emails of like, hey, we need to respect our neighboring, areas that welcome us through these areas, and we will be not allowed back here. You will be ticketed if you do continue this.
I think it comes down to, there's a year or two for you guys
Right.
to figure out what the mistakes were and correct them.
Yeah.
Not up to us,
No, yeah, I mean,
Know what
this
I
is
mean?
stuff,
It's
yeah, and this is stuff, I mean,
because you couldn't lose your privilege.
correct,
if
yeah.
You do the same thing.
Right. And we absolutely understand that
Yeah.
we don't condone this behavior. We try everything we can, but this would be our next steps to try the next more harsher choices,
There's
to-
no question it's for the right reason, what
Yeah,
you're doing. so.
yeah, but we can't have our riders taking up, roads and making things unsafe for both riders and drivers on the road. We absolutely understand that. Those are thoughts and suggestions we met after we got this email, and our thoughts that we can take action on for next year.
How many riders did you have this year?
The ride specifically, I believe we had, don't quote me, it'd probably be around 1,500 broken out between all the distances. The 25K is our largest, and then our walk and our run has another about 1,500 to 2,000. That doesn't come through this area. That stays over in Madison and Sun Prairie.
How many did you have the year before? Has it been?
Well, last year it got rained out for a terrible monsoon that came through. The year before that, the rain affected us. This year we were down probably about 500. Our previous best year was about 3,500, 3,700 total for the whole event, not just the bike portion. It's very much spread out. But our goal is obviously to get back to those numbers, but again, it's staggered. Our walk is probably our largest, just because it's more conducive for everybody and families. But the bike ride was what the event started on, and we have a lot of people who come back for those things.
So it's a large fundraiser.
It is, yeah, it's the whole thing, yeah.
So I appreciate you coming in here and speaking. What I'm concerned about this, because I kind of view this as you throwing yourself in the knife, because those bicyclists are, they're going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So how are you going to control that?
I mean, my only suggestion is everything I kind of laid out, and we understand that if that doesn't happen next year with all these extra efforts, we understand that we wouldn't be welcome back on town roads. You know, we
Because-
understand.
Because when you were talking about ticketing and all this is
Mhm.
extra resources that we have to do to do something that shouldn't happen. in the first place.
Correct, yes. We absolutely agree with you. We're just trying to come up with extra steps to really warn our athletes that, you know, this can't happen. And, you know, these are things that we'd like to do to push our athletes that we're being really serious here. And eyes are on you, and if this does continue, we won't be welcome.
I don't know how other people feel, but I want some accountability. Having you here is great, but it doesn't transfer over to the bicyclist.
Sure.
So I guess with that said, just a note that next year.
Yeah.
We're not gonna target, we're gonna be looking at them. not
Yeah.
So much you.
No, we absolutely understand.
Chief, did you have a comment?
Yeah, hi Abby.
Hi.
How do you choose your route?
I mean, Yeah.
I'll give you some
Yeah.
reference why I asked.
yeah.
The route from 24 and 25 is different than the route previous to that. The 24 and 25 route uses more of Vilas Road, which for those that live on it know that it's a relatively busy road
Yeah.
and has no shoulders.
Sure.
Previous routes were on Vilas Road maybe for a real little bit, but came through more of the village.
Yes, yes.
So might that not be a better idea to avoid a road that might create conflict?
Sure. No, I know what you're saying. I'd have to, honestly, I'd have to go back. My predecessor, I just started with, I've been with the Badger Challenge in a different capacity. This is my first go around in this capacity. And I know it got switched. I don't know for what reason.
My guess would be because Ridge Taylor was under construction one year.
Okay.
It's
okay.
not under
It's
construction
not
any
construction.
longer.
Okay.
No.
Okay. We can absolutely look at, yeah, I mean, anything.
Because then
to
that
get
put the
off-
aid station at Community Park, not
Yes.
at Bakken Park.
Yeah. And the roads, the Ridge Road, what you're talking about are better conducive for. riders
Well,
and-
I mean, there's still shoulderless roads,
Sure.
They're more narrow.
Sure, sure.
but there's a little bit less traffic.
Okay, okay.
A lot less traffic, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, is they're still town roads, and they
Sure,
still don't have
sure.
shoulders, and they're
Yeah,
still don't
yeah.
have bike lanes like the Immaculate City does.
Right, right.
But there's gonna be fewer intersections with
Sure,
cars.
sure.
Hopefully.
Yeah, well, I can certainly look back at that route, and we're open to other roads for sure.
But
Yeah, we just,
I think your theories of the athletes have to be respectful of the other people, and it's not a world revolves around bicycles type
Right.
event.
right, absolutely. But yeah, I'll definitely look back at that route. I appreciate it.
Anybody else have anything?
I think she's got a handle on it.
Thank you for coming by this evening. As Troy said, it says a lot for the organization, and hopefully this year was just an anomaly. And I happen to live on Vilas myself and saw firsthand some of the stuff that the deputies had indicated in their letter and stuff, and
Sure,
that I hadn't seen previous.
sure,
You know,
sure.
'cause quite honestly, for a couple hours, I just sat in a lawn chair, literally
Yeah,
at the end of my driveway, because I was just amazed at what bicycle technology has morphed into. I mean, there were
Sure.
bikes that didn't look like bikes,
yes.
other than the
yes.
fact they had two wheels. So I was kind of looking at it from that perspective.
Sure, sure.
But no, it's, you do great things, and but just hope for better next year.
Yes,
Okay?
no, we'll do everything we can to push our athletes to
Okay.
follow these rules, and we understand consequences. Yeah, we'll take our next further action to push this, so
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
I appreciate it,
Kim,
guys.
does the special event permitting process ask the applicants to submit a map of the route?
So yeah, when we go through that again, I'm open to feedback when I'll look at that old route, and we can absolutely look at some maybe better options where there's less traffic. Maybe. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Discuss potential Eagle Scout projects. All of you should have seen correspondence between the Eagle Scout candidate and folks at the fire department. I think you weighed in a little bit, Dan, on this, or am I, not this one, no. Christie was the one, I'm sorry. And so is I guess what the question I would have, seeing we have April and Nick here, is that a potential doable Eagle Scout project, which you had suggested?
Yeah, we always got stuff for somebody to do. We can come up with something. So, I mean, I think April responded to Christie's email with a couple different ideas.
Right. It sounded good to me.
So,
The person isn't here tonight, is he?
No, because you told me to wait and see.
Yeah, okay, no, that's
I
fine.
didn't notify him that we were gonna
Yeah.
talk about it specifically.
I honestly think if we could actually bypass the board and just go directly to the fire department and see if, work out the details.
yeah.
If
just
that's
have them
something
contact us.
he has interest in doing, and if it, for whatever reason, doesn't work out, we can always take a step back and come back here and try and figure out something else for him to do, but.
Were we discussing about getting all the signs remade on a bunch of parks too?
Yeah, but we're actually looking at the possibility of those routed 3D silver. Have you seen the Village's dog park sign there by the, that's right, you haven't been too mobile lately, so.
No. I have to get driven everywhere.
Yeah, no, we're looking at, the 3D kind of signs as opposed to what I would consider the traditional DNR type routed signs like we currently have.
Just another option. That's
Yeah.
We want something that's gonna last,
And so I guess what we'll do is maybe Kim could reach out to that candidate and just put them.
Get in touch. Which one of you should he contact, or both, or?
We've already had a bunch of communications back and forth with them.
Oh, you have? Okay, so I'll just tell him the town board said.
Go for it.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Thank you.
You bet. Next item, discuss and consider prohibiting left turns from Vilas onto County Road BB and from Femrite Drive onto Highway 12 and 18.
We have people in the audience that want to talk a lot.
Okay.
I can go. I'm Amy Fosdick and I live at 2797 Ruffian Circle, which is right off of Damascus as you're heading towards BB.
Yes, you're my behind the backyard neighbor.
Yes, and the first thing I wanted to say is I've lived there 8 years. And I couldn't, well, first of all, I couldn't find the email, but I thought that the woman that wrote in said something about waiting 15 minutes and blah, blah, blah. So no disrespect to that, but I wanted to say that I've lived there 7 or 8 years, and they're in the morning, peak time. It is a little bit of a wait, but I use that area a lot, and I don't think it's that terrible to warrant a no left turn. My fear with the no left turn, everybody's going to remember as they're coming up the hill, and then our neighborhood, which is not, the roads there aren't made for that kind of traffic. They're all going to turn down Damascus to get to the stoplight by CVS. Or they're going to go visit you, Gordy, and they're going to take a right, and they're going to go up to the stoplight by the new school, and then that go down Bus, and then ironically, I used to live on Lane Street, and then they're going to come down Lane, which is not made for all that traffic either. So I'm just here to say that I oppose you guys making it BB and Vilas, no left turn.
28 cars there last night on
Yeah.
that corner waiting to get out, make a left-hand turn.
At what time?
When that was at 4 o'clock, 4:15. It's the same I live right there, so I mean, it's the same in the morning.
Yeah, I don't go that way in the morning because I know it's like that, but
Hopefully, a lot of people won't go that way then, but
I'm just really concerned about I mean, I would love to, I think I talked to somebody on the phone. It'd be great if we could have a stoplight there, but I know that's not within our control at the
The
township.
county was supposed to have started their traffic study, which was gonna start at Sprecher and BB and come all the way in. I don't know if it was gonna go as far as N or if it was just gonna go as far as the Damascus stoplight. I know it was gonna continue past
Yeah.
the bus stoplight. But the county ran out of money this year, so it got postponed till next year sometime. I didn't know if it was gonna be early in the year or late in the year. And nobody's, and the county highway is willing to say much right now as what their thoughts are, what they're looking for as far as a potential. They agree there's an issue, okay, so, which is good, because of the fact maybe something will get done, but, you know, light, roundabout probably wouldn't be a good idea just because of Vilas to the north and Vilas to the south and homes in the way and, you know.
Right, and my concern more with it, like I said, if them coming down Damascus, is then it's gonna be all backed up because the light at Damascus and BB to take a left there, that is horrible as well. It's very short because you have people coming from dropping their kids off at school or picking them up. So at those peak times, it's very messy there as well. So I don't come with any solutions. I just am saying, please don't do it. I'm not that good of a citizen tonight, am I, Christie? I don't know what you should do, but yeah.
it's a tough one on that corner because it, goes like this, like that,
Yeah,
That's
and
a
when
tough one.
I don't go around 4 o'clock. The only time I go there is probably between 5:30 and 6. I tend to go to a tavern that's over there, so I have to go like this. But so there are certain times, I don't notice it. I mean, living there, I haven't noticed it. I know one night we had our bags league and somebody said there were 30 cars. Miller's told me that there were 30 cars backed up. But that was also, there was an accident on the interstate, so all the traffic everywhere in the area was all messed up. But as a general rule, I work in town, but
In Madison, you mean?
no, in Cottage Grove,
No, the village,
yes.
not the town.
Yeah, you're right,
Be
correct.
careful.
I will be careful. I do remember where I am, Michael.
It's a tough question.
It is really tough, so I just wanted to share what I thought.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, Gordy Bishel, 2838 Buston Road. And I just wanted to, basically, she hit all the points that I was gonna say too. You're gonna get all the traffic coming out of the golf course. That's gonna be going through the neighborhood to with the schools going on and stuff like that, there's gonna be more traffic there. And I know it's not a fun intersection. I'm not sure the right idea, a four-way stop or lights. Obviously, something has to be thought out, but to cut away the left-hand turn, I just don't think it's a right thing to do.
The problem is you got at Bus Road, you got that stoplight. When that changes green, you get 20 cars going west. And then at Sprecher Road, then a little while later, that one turns green. And I live right there on BB and you can't even get out of my driveway because it's either this way or that. You have to turn right. You have no choice. So, I mean, it's a tough
Some days
situation.
Some days there's gonna be, at this present situation that we have, you're gonna have to turn right. But most of the time, you can get across there in a reasonable amount of time and get on your way. So again, I don't know what the right answer is, but I just don't think completely shutting off left-hand turns is the right answer.
Do you think shutting it off for a time period?
And that might be perhaps something like that.
You know, you're right. There may be days, it's no problem taking a left-hand turn.
Yeah, and I thought we were actually going to look at that as an option, you know,
The what?
putting the timed.
Yeah, no left-hand turn from blah, to blah, or something.
There was a suggestion, I think I made that one, to mimic, if everybody's driven through Wanakee on 19 going through, as you're going past where the Lone Girl Brewery Restaurant is right there, just to the west, the next two streets that go up to the, I think it's the Catholic school or parochial school, they have two signs, no left turn, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., you know, off of 19, just because it backs up so badly. And after seeing those signs, you know, for many years, I thought if we were to consider something like what we have on the agenda for tonight, 7A to 9A only would be
Monday through Friday, you know.
correct,
Yeah.
right? You know, except for snow days or, you know, we'll put.
The reading's gonna go
Holidays,
hard.
yeah, there's gonna be a big sign, but that was an initial thought.
Do you have the ability to enforce that, though?
What's that?
Do you have the ability to enforce that?
Actually, yeah,
We have to make an ordinance for it, I presume.
I mean, do we
Support the
have,
sign.
do we have somebody on duty usually during those hours
We
to
can.
enforce that?
we have the ability. I've already checked with,
Okay.
If we have our 3 people like we do now,
I
but
mean, I don't know what their morning shift, I think it's very.
7 a.m.
Is it?
That's when they start, yeah.
Okay.
So we do have the ability for enforcement, I guess. I'm just gonna skip ahead just for a second. The second part of this with the Femrite and 12 and 18, I have not gotten a call back from DOT to find out if it's even feasible yet, so I don't have an answer for that. So based upon my suggestion here, based upon the comments from the public here, maybe it's nothing that's urgent, life or death. We just look into it some more and see if there's,
Yeah, I mean, I would be open to making that time turning thing, but I don't think you can.
That's well with you, or you want it totally abolished?
no, I'd like to
Yeah.
turn left at Vilas, you know,
Yeah.
to go into Madison, not so much in the morning, because I very rarely go that way.
We have
But-
to plow and snow, so just so you know.
What's that?
So we have to turn left, plow and snow, just so you know.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But I think we're exempt.
Hopefully it will be with an eye on putting lights there in the future sometime.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's an expense.
it's unfortunately,
It'd be
well,
a
I should
roundabout.
say, fortunately, the county would be responsible as opposed to the village. You know, to me, the village's traffic engineering that sometimes leaves a little bit to be desired, in my opinion. So I'm glad that the county is going to be conducting the study and, you know, we'll expect a reasonable result from whatever it is they decide. So, thank you for your comments, and I guess
I move we table.
I'll second that. Stay tuned, everybody.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
I'm gonna go watch the Brewers now.
Are they winning?
I don't know.
starts
I-
at 8 o'clock.
Starts-
Starts at 8 o'clock. believe it or
Starts
not.
right now.
8:08.
No.
No,
Oh.
I haven't yet.
All those in favor to tables, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Next item, discuss and consider posting permanent 10-ton weight limits on selected town road.
You have to have ordinance for that?
What's that?
Ordinance bills.
we'll have to go ahead and,
Ian has some more information about that.
Permanent weight restricted roads, yes, have to be adopt an ordinance and everything like that. And you also have to follow the state regulation too, which would be a class B road. So they actually have paperwork, a local authority would have to fill out and adopt basically our local roads into a program for permanent postings. Because then that gets presented out there, so then truck companies and stuff know what are routes and stuff, And then we would be able to set like weight limit, or we could just adopt the class B weight limit too, which is 60% less than what the class A road is, which is a state highway. So that'd be like 32,000 pounds or something like that. Which is like, what, roughly 15 ton, isn't it? Something like that, somewhere around there.
So it's a process we have to.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it's something we have to get our lawyer involved with and everything else. And we have to submit all that to the state because they have to know what's not considered a truck route. And I'm sure all these other municipalities have already done that. Like Berks had theirs set for years, at 10 tons. I'm sure they've been through that. Bristol has a bunch of their roads set. So I'm sure they've just, over the years, they just keep adding ones they want to. But they don't have all their roads, just certain ones like you want to do.
yeah.
I think this is a good idea.
I do, just because of the fact that as the village is getting bigger and there's more construction in the area and,
Expansion.
what's that?
Expansion.
It is, and,
Expansion.
we spend our hard-earned dollars or our hard-earned tax dollars, to keep our roads up as best we can, and I don't particularly relish the thought of having 80,000 pound, semis or whatever, pound. And I'd
Yeah.
rather just have them pound on select roads,
Yeah, it hasn't been fun watching all the concrete trucks run down Gaston Road to the new subdivision in the village for 2 years straight. Or down Sandpiper.
It's gonna be for 2 years?
How would they get there though?
BB and
Then
to Damascus.
they still have to come on, yeah.
That's not on ours.
Okay,
That's all
okay.
village.
So they're- okay.
Except they turn off at N onto Gaston, they take Gaston to bus, and then they go in that construction route off of Bus Road. So they deliver all the concrete in there every day, all day long,
Okay, I move that we start the
for the
process.
last 2-3 years.
So you'll have to list which roads that you want then.
Okay. The
What's-
roads of,
Go ahead. I didn't hear what you said.
You'll have to list which roads then that you want to pursue.
Well, talked about, Vilas.
Yeah, if that's one you wanna do. I was more concerned about Femrite, Vilas, Hope, and Gaston are my
Yeah,
top
I
3.
would-
Well, I was-
I would think.
Yes,
But then Vilas, yes, definitely from BB to Gaston. Cause you're already close, if you're gonna post Gaston, you might as well post Vilas.
yep.
How does that work when we share so many segments with the village?
It's our full sections will be weight
Yeah,
restricted.
we're gonna have to have signs like we have for ATV routes.
What's that? Do all Vilas, yeah. You
What's
can
that?
Be harder on
Just like parking wars on TV.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you can just do all of Vilas too. Every section of Vilas Road would be fine. Just a lot of signs, but
I just,
I mean, you can't stop deliveries.
no.
Yeah, I
And
mean-
the deliveries aren't the issue.
But
It's just
building
the traffic.
materials aren't deliveries. They have to come get permits to be able to drive on those roads during those times. So if somebody builds a house on that road with our weight restriction on it, they have to come to us for a permit to drive in there and deliver to that said house
Drive
being
out, but
built.
it's only one house.
And that permit is only permitting one passage. It's not permitting them just driving back and forth in there as much as they want for the next month. It's to deliver that day,
So
because that's not a standard delivery.
so we're gonna have to come up with a permit and process.
Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about? How many trucks are we talking about? One or two, or, I don't know. Here we go again with stuff we're looking at and we don't even, I don't think we have any idea. how
Mike,
many
go,
trucks.
go sit on Gaston Road someday.
Yeah, but I'm just
go
saying
sit
to
on
you.
Gaston Road.
Come sit in my driveway.
Yeah, I see the traffic on
horrible.
Gaston
You,
Road.
you know the traffic you see go by on BB?
Yeah,
The traffic's on our roads all day long. Because when they go by your house on BB, they just came off of Vilas or Vilas Hope.
well, Violet's Hope I could see.
Well, it's Vilas.
I couldn't
Two.
see, I can see Violet's being full, you know,
Like
not
it won't,
anybody to be allowed
it
there.
won't stop the deliveries to the golf course.
Yeah.
That has to be done, right? Those trucks have to go in there and make deliveries. That they're exempt from that.
But what other roads are you talking about?
All of Vilas. Well, you might as well close Hope. You're gonna do Femrite. Cause I mean, well, they can't get there anyway, so, I mean, technically it's posted anyway, but, you know, cause it's just all this cut through, cause that whole side of Madison now is all commercial. And I see Hermsdorf Fields, they're just surveying that. I guarantee it's commercial development going in there.
Okay, I would move that we begin the process to be able to permanently post 10-ton weight limits on Vilas, Hope, Gaston, Vilas, Hope, and Femrite.
You wanna do that, or just, do you wanna say selected town roads for Dan?
Which do you
Do
think
what?
is,
I didn't hear what you
he's suggesting just say selected town roads.
Rather than just
Well,
list,
and I think you're gonna wanna have the town board actually name the roads you want.
I think so.
So
And that
the-
we
the-
need more, we can name more eventually.
okay,
But then like Dan said, they'll have to be class B. Do you want them to be just the state definition of class B, or are you looking to go all the way down to 10 tons for them all?
So you said class B was 60% of a class A? Class A's are 80,000.
Well, it depends on the year though. It depends on the time of the year. So Class A roads change throughout the course of the year.
I wasn't aware of that.
So like winter time when they claim frozen road law, right? They can haul more weight. And so then your Class B would fluctuate with your Class A as the state. There's a scale, there's a graph that shows what it's all at. So you could either do it that way, or you can just set them at like 10 ton or 15 ton. And there's a lot of different ways to do it.
What's the minimum you could be on a class A? Right now you said it's 80,000 pounds.
Well, minimum is minimum or maximum, whatever time of year, just isn't a standard is 80,000 pounds.
so you're talking 50,000 pounds then?
It's 60% lower, not
48.
60% of, it's 60% lower.
Oh.
Oh,
So it's like 30, it's like 30, 32,000 pounds, something like that.
I understand.
Okay.
Where does farm equipment come in all this?
They had to follow the same law.
So
Well,
like during
does-
harvest, for example,
Harvest is, this time of year is exempt again.
okay? And that's true for
That's-
everything?
That's for dates. Yeah, there's certain dates of the year that harvest law, they call it or whatever.
I think we gotta talk about this more. More information. You look at Gaston, I don't see the real problem there, actually, but because they're probably turn off. I presume they're not gonna turn off at bus, I wouldn't presume.
All the time.
I'm saying,
Oh.
it's not our road, but.
No, bus isn't. However, there are the cement trucks and other trucks that go right down Gaston and out through Seminary
Yeah.
Springs, out to TT,
Well,
out to T.
they can't though. Because Burke
do.
Road, I
I
know
know.
Burke Road is posted 10 ton. As soon as you get to the end of our road down by Seminary Springs, it's posted 10 ton.
Correct.
It's always been 10 ton. They're not supposed to cross that box culvert. They're not supposed to go across there. Because that's actually listed on the state website as a 10 ton bridge.
Yeah, good point.
But you see trucks go by there all day long.
But you
Every
could
day.
come from N up Gaston and accomplish the same issue.
Yeah, but most of those guys that deliver out there, they just keep
Hopefully the
going.
construction ain't gonna be there forever, you know? Until
I just-
they take my house, then it'll be back to that again.
But then, okay, Hamburg's working the east side of Bus Road right now.
Yeah.
He owns the west side of Bus Road
I
also.
know that, yeah.
You and I are gonna be very old men by the time they're done building up there.
Oh, I agree. I totally agree.
Probably
And
20 years
so-
before they're done.
They gotta get there. I mean,
That's why
it's,
we need to have this. I really think we need to move on this now.
why?
Because it's a process, first of all. We're not gonna be doing it
Okay.
tomorrow. It's gonna take time.
But then we better make damn sure we're picking the right roads. And in my opinion, Gaston is not one of them. The other ones I can see, but I cannot see Gaston.
I think you need to go out there, Mike.
Yeah, because I thank God that when somebody drives me, they're taking me east.
I'll be out there mowing next week. You can ride along with me.
Yeah. Hey, listen, do you think I don't go on that road like every day? Jeez, I do.
How many times I get my rear tire rub
Man.
taken off? Crazy.
I don't think I
We
got a
have-
second to my motion.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think yes, I seconded Christie's motion. Is there any other discussion? And this is just to start the process to get all of our ducks in a row.
Yeah, because I think we need to talk to somebody from the state and make sure we're doing everything right.
Yeah.
Any other discussion?
And
Hearing
this doesn't
none,
stop you guys at all. You're all exempt, so don't even worry about it.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
4-1. Next item, consider approval of the 2026 Deer Grove EMS budget.
Oh, boy.
The Deer Grove EMS Commission approved this unanimously. I think.
5-1.
5-1, you're right.
Who?
Paul Peterson.
Oh, yes. You voted no?
She did.
Why did? Oh, no.
Because she is not committed to the need to expand the accounts manager position to full-time. She'd like to consider it less than, it's 16 hours a week now, which is what it's been.
Forever.
Forever,
Forever.
yes, forever. And during this time, we have doubled essentially the number of paramedics. We have 2 full-time ambulances, around 3.
So
And
what's actually the job?
it's
Explain.
expanded,
Do what?
it has expanded greatly.
That's what I'm asking, you know?
And I
It's
think that
basically my role for an EMS commission. She does all the accounting, payroll, plus she takes minutes for the commission. It's essentially the same role that I have for the town.
Okay.
So they've added roles to her tasks or to the tasks throughout the years.
What's happened is the job description was built, let's say, in the early 2000s, early 2010s. It was revised when Kim left and we needed to hire someone new. So there was some mild revisions. I have been unable to find exactly what those revisions were, but really nothing was added to the job description, even though probably at the time what Kim was actually doing was far more expansive than what was written in the job description. The duties that we ask that person to manage are expansive, and we can fill 40 hours a week for sure. We probably could fill more than that, but that's all we're asking is for 40 hours. We see areas that are gaps right now that someone with the finite look at accounting could help us out with, and potentially on one side save us some money with making sure that we're getting reimbursed for things appropriately, and on the other side maybe make us more money with our accounting or our billing agency to ensure they're in line with how they're going about their practices. So we see an opportunity to have that role take some load off of the things that I do that sway or stray into what that person should be doing but doesn't have enough time for, and allow me to do more operational type things and administrative type things.
So is
So,
it, go ahead.
go ahead. No.
I was just gonna ask her title, which she does. Does she generate any income with the title, with what she does, or is it just strictly staff and salary? Just paid?
Well, the generation of the income happens by the paramedics running the call, I guess is the best way to put it.
It's not her directly.
No, what the position would look at would be making sure that we're invoicing things properly, that the correlation of benefits and that we're getting the best deal for the benefits we're providing, along with working with our billing agency that is the one that bills for the EMS calls. We see some inconsistencies that we can dabble in. Well, what's this about or what's this about? But there needs to be more time spent on it that we don't have right now.
And that person wants to be full-time?
I'm being very cautious to not say that for any one person because we
Okay.
would open it up to the public and hire the best candidate. And
Yeah,
if it just so
basically.
happens that we already have the best candidate, then that's the way it works. But we would interview everyone from the outside that meets the job description and the qualifications to see because there might be something better out there. We don't know. We've never interviewed for a position like that. There are very few positions like this out there. That is, and why I say that is because the position that we're increasing from part-time to full-time is unique in that it's a finance manager, it's a business manager, it's would take over HR functions with me.
Okay, again, would she apply for the job?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's something we should probably talk about in closed session for that kind of stuff, but.
Is that her? It's hard to see in this page. It talks about alternative explored.
Yeah, there was some thoughts of maybe we could have multiple part-time people do the job. So those alternatives that we explored show that the cost savings was nominal. I don't believe that there's enough efficiencies having two positions to look at that way. And that's kind of what that looked at, was having more than one person do the job as opposed to just one.
But if we approve this budget, it's in here to make the person.
So
somebody
what you're
hire somebody
approving is
for full-time or not?
what you're approving is the budget. The position itself isn't approved at the commission level yet.
Oh,
So at the commission level, we would work through and approve the position itself.
There is monies, the budget includes monies for the position,
that's what I'm asking.
monies only.
Yeah.
It includes the funding, and the funding could mean that as the group, the EMS commission looks at it, they say, no, we think that it should be something different. We would have the funding available to make those adjustments. The recommendation from me and my staff group is that we move ahead with a full-time position. But I don't make those decisions. I just make recommendations.
Why was that not looked at or approved or gets approved when their budget is being made?
Couple of reasons. Number one, it was because of the way that the agenda was written, that it was not on the agenda to discuss. So several commission members tried talking around it. It was rather unique, but bottom line, we couldn't discuss it because it wasn't on the agenda. And then, yeah, so I'm sure that will be changed for this meeting this month to.
But the actual budget is, because of no capital, what they're looking for is a drop of $32,000 from last year, correct?
So the Cottage Grove portion, I think.
Yes.
Seems like it's pretty well in line with the year before, or with this year.
Mhm.
And this proposed budget that we put in front of you also includes the approved increases for the bargaining unit with their new contract. What the budget you have in front of you also includes is some pretty significant cuts to other areas of the budget. As a, for instance, we were able to look at our extra overtime line and say that when we have a person in-house full-time that's going to take some responsibility away from me, I can then take some responsibility away from someone else, which means that some of the items that are being performed by line staff that result in overtime here and there, I can do and reduce the extra overtime budget line. Understanding that we will always have a large overtime budget line in our budget because of our staffing model and the staffing model of the industry. We work an average of 42 hours a week. So there is somewhere in the area of 300 hours of overtime on a normal schedule for our staff because of the 24-hour shifts.
Plus not to mention the capital purchases, the huge decreases.
Yes, yeah, we won't have a capital purchase for 2026. And looking forward, based off of some discussions we had at the last meeting about fund balance, we look to use fund balance for our future capital purchases so that I suspect if the trend goes the way it has been, that we may not have a capital purchase for the next 5 years, or a capital request for the next 5 years. We'll still have capital purchases, but we'll fund them from excess fund balance.
So will the, looking at this person being full-time, will that be at your next commission meeting then, or?
Yes.
So this
We
bud-
hope, we
so
hope
this
the
budget
agenda
could
is,
change that.
we hope the agenda is, we'll ensure that the agenda correctly indicates discuss and consider.
Like,
See where the chips
so this
fall.
budget is gonna change it, basically.
No,
No,
no, it should not change.
Why
the,
wouldn't it?
because the monies that were
Oh, it's in
requested,
here already.
it's
The
already in
money,
here.
okay.
Yes.
I'd make a motion that we approve the budget for the EMS.
I'll second that. Thank you, Mike.
There's a motion and a second to approve the 2026 Deer Grove EMS budget. Is there any discussion?
Quick question, can I ask how much money was added for the new hire? If you don't want to say it, that's fine.
The position was paid about $25,000 last year. It will be, of course, when we hire the person, we have to negotiate a contracted rate with them. Our pay range was 80 to 100, which is competitive for similar positions in the industry. So not exactly knowing where that person will fall in line with our pay range. We budgeted for up to $100,000 with benefits to go with it. So an increase of roughly $100,000
A year.
Only,
Right.
But that's with Benny's.
That's what.
yeah,
Benny's.
yeah. Got it.
Anything else? Hearing nothing, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Post same sign, motion carried. Thanks, chief.
Good luck.
Did the village approve it?
No, the village's process involves all the budgets coming together in a committee. So it got moved from discussing at the meeting tonight to in the budget development committee. The village's budget won't be fully approved until sometime in early December, which is the way it's been for the last 2 or 3 years. So
Yeah.
Their budget guy is for that?
yeah, it involves bringing everything together, bringing all the departments' budgets together. The committee looks at what through their financial analysis, what they believe they can afford, and then putting in and plugging in various department head budgets into making that happen.
That's the way they used to do it 30 years ago or 40 years ago. Just thought I'd bring that up for spite.
Yeah, I mean, now that we've been through the process more than once, it was a little stressful at first, but I think now that you know what the process is, you just go along with it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next item, discuss and consider approval of the 2026 Cottage Grove Fire Department budget. I guess the big thing that we've discussed previously is going to be the paid on call for their folks. And also all departmental officers are gonna have some sort of remuneration for their positions. You have the floor, chief. Kind of anything to say.
So I mean, I included my explanation as to what was changing and why. A separate sheet that goes along with the budget. I don't know if you want me to read through each item or not, but just kind of a summary as to what changed, why they changed, the account for the change. The biggest thing, like Steve said, was the paper call. Officer pays changing quite a bit because officers were all paid like pretty minimally. I think everybody was like $100 a month, but they're doing a significant amount of work. So we look to increase that based on the workload that's being done. So those were the two biggest ones. Everything else was like minor increases based on like the cost of business just increasing. You know, like our service agreement for fire hose went up a little bit. We're buying some fire helmets, so that's why the cost of equipment went up a little bit. Insurance is going to go up because we changed the value on the trucks to be more realistic as to what their actual replacement value would be if something happened to them. I mean, so that's pretty much most of the changes to the budget.
Do you have to do like W-2s or anything now that you've got more pay?
Yeah, so we actually went to payroll.
Okay.
So we have a company that's doing payroll for us, and we actually have W-4s now. So
Okay.
we were doing 1099s,
Yeah.
and now we actually have W-4s. So.
So the big thing is personal pay.
Most of it is
Basically.
the pay for staff,
What was the other big issue?
officer pay. So paper call was the big one.
Yeah, no, I see that.
58,000.
That's total
And then,
115.
officer pay was the other big one. That went up quite a bit because they were all making pretty minimal, but they're all doing quite a bit of extra work on top of the normal job. So we felt it was more appropriate to kind of bump that up a little bit and reflect the extra workload that they put in.
Any questions from the board?
I move approval of the Cottage Grove Fire Department budget.
Second.
Motion by Dupuy, second by Christie to approve the 2026 Cottage Grove Fire Department budget. Is there any discussion? Carrie?
Looks good.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider next steps for a fire EMS organization.
The Emergency Services Building budget.
Whoops, sorry about that.
Do we have information on that? Or-
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Could discuss and consider the ESP budget. for 2026.
Probably the biggest change here is that there's no longer $20,000 coming from each of the town and the village to go to the ESB repair fund. So there's a more realistic estimate of what building maintenance type costs really are, because for the past several years, we've been using the repair fund to fund a lot of those. So that's what the biggest difference is. It actually ends up in a less amount for each municipality overall, because you're not trying to sock away that money anymore, but it has to be realistic to cover what expenses might actually come.
What's the generator service that just to come out, fire it up?
Yeah, they come out, do an annual maintenance on it, they check, do the fluids, they do a test on it, make sure it's running okay. That kind of thing.
And you guys checked on the insurance?
The
insurance for the building?
Insurance will never give you an answer this early. They'll never give you a quote until.
Really?
And so they always tell us estimate about 3% if it's all staying the same,
No.
So.
It's usually in November, I think, before we finally.
They usually don't. They don't really usually have anything in time for budgeting. We just have to guess.
They'll wait till January 1st if they can.
So they say 3%, and we kind of look at like what the actual was and looks like this year and take a guess.
So the bottom line for us, 28,000?
Yes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Fugger, second by Duplay to approve the 2026 Emergency Services Building budget. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Now, let's discuss and consider the next steps for fire EMS organizational review with future needs analysis.
God, what a document. Holy moly, Rocky. Crazy.
It was interesting.
So what's the bottom line with this?
Well, they didn't get any bids.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, to come up with this because they didn't get any bids?
No, apparently Wisconsin Public Policy Forum is apparently now gonna go ahead and put something in, and the villages, I don't not necessarily want to call it a request, but the village was gonna accept proposals from anybody that now it's decided to go ahead and take a look at it.
Well, they gave him 4 options.
What?
They gave him 4 options.
Yeah, we got them here.
So that could be one of the options. But I think their preferred was they had 2 vendors that they'd like to just say.
Correct.
Right.
Rather than putting it out and waiting again.
Yeah. And the fact that they've already reached out and communicated.
Well, are we supposed to vote on something or what? Is that why we have this?
But at the
Yeah,
village
just
level,
basically-
they're gonna ask them which one they wanna do. One of the 4 was the big thing. What the board's pleasure was for moving forward, which was choose the 2, reissue, scrap, or I can't remember what the 4th was.
Take no action.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that the village wanted us to formally say whether or not we were still on board like we were prior to this whole thing with going with the needs analysis.
How would we ever consider a 50-50 split?
What's that?
How would we ever consider a 50-50 split?
As far as what?
Item C.
Yeah,
The study
confirmed preferred funding option.
or number 3.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, that's a 16% increase.
Yeah, but the C3 though, Mike,
We're not,
I
I
said
guess,
three.
I guess we're not at that point yet. I mean, as far as, I think what we need to do is collectively send the village a message saying that either yes, we're on board, or no, we're not on board with proceeding with whatever.
action we recommend or what?
Yeah,
Mhm. I think we should be on board and I would support the two that they have already had feedback with.
right, but I think the
Or
way I'm
three.
reading,
You have
the way
three
I'm
here.
reading on the second page and the back page is that those three options there would be considered at the meeting, the joint meeting with the village.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so I think you guys just need to just look at A and say, are you on board, yes or no? And do you want 1, 2, 3, or 4?
I'm out for 4.
Take no action.
Yeah. I just don't see it.
I don't want to go ahead and be forced to get something rammed down my throat. I'd rather be,
How are they gonna ram anything down our throat?
If we're not part of the decision-making process.
correct.
We
right
weren't
now,
last
we
time.
would be. We were part of it.
They did the last survey they did on their own. We didn't pay for it.
Correct,
For EMS, you
Any
were
of it.
part of it.
Yeah,
You were part of it. for
we didn't pay
EMS.
any of it.
right. I agree with you.
For EMS, you paid,
What's-
like, through the EMS commission, you paid part of it.
You didn't pay for
Didn't
the
pay
fire
part of
one.
that.
I would like to take the opportunity to try to work with the village. So number one, it's something that's palatable to the town.
Mhm.
It's good for both fire and EMS. Because of the fact that I am not confident that the village has the best interest of fire and EMS in their heads. And yes, I said it publicly, but I just, and then also, like I said, I would rather be a part of this decision-making process rather than just,
So are you open to 1 or 2?
And Mike, where they got 50-50 from is that's the split for the ESB. That's why they put that on there.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have somebody online who wants to speak.
Whoever, you go ahead, whoever this person is.
Hello?
I think it's Chris. Chris, go ahead.
Can't hear you. No.
Chris, if you'd like to call me on my phone, I can put it on speaker if you'd like. If you can hear us.
Maybe he's blinded by the reflection.
What's that?
I got it.
I would never say that.
Blinded.
Ah, here we go. Hey, Chris, let me put you on speaker. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yes.
Can everybody hear?
Yeah.
Tell him to turn the meeting off.
Couldn't unmute.
What's that?
I couldn't unmute my computer.
Okay. You're live at the meeting.
My question would be, is there study going to look at, is it time for the village fire to be separate from the village, from the town's fire because of their needs being so much greater than our needs and the cost that it's forcing onto the town?
That's item 3.
Draft the scope of separate fiscal.
And they didn't recommend it.
I don't know the answer to that question. There's never been any discussion or anything regarding, one fire department or one fire department versus two.
You look at the needs in this year's or next year's budget, how much of that is driven simply by the village, not the town's growth?
Actually, looking at
Make it worse.
the 2026 budget, a vast majority of the increase has been for fire department increase in equipment purchases for equipment that's timing out, the paid on call or pay per call, pay per call for the firefighters, and then also the pay for the officers for their duties associated with just running the fire department.
But then in 27, they're gonna look for a full-time chief and another full-time position, correct?
I mean, so the village asked for like a tentative 5-year plan, right? So we did put like 20, I believe it was 2028, we put, at some point, you need to start considering a full-time chief and a full-time fire inspector. So I think we did put those positions in 2028, but it's gonna be dependent on what happens with workload, growth, all that stuff. I mean, to say split the two district or two fire departments up just doesn't, to me, doesn't make any sense. Like, you're a district. The reason you're a district is because you're sharing the cost. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's up to you guys though. If you feel that the service is too expensive and you'd rather pull out and form your own service like he's suggesting, that's entirely up to you guys.
Fire is also not the one that's got the higher calls, that's driving the calls. It's actually more EMS that's driving calls and having a higher rapid increase in call volume.
Did you hear what?
I'm not talking about EMS, I'm only talking about fire.
Correct, and
the reason
April
why-
was saying that the additional call volume from the fire department is being driven by, in her words, the EMS assists. Did I put, is that?
Partially
Which come out
it's
of the village.
partially, well, I mean, they happen everywhere. You can't say it just happens in the
Yeah,
village.
I'm just saying, the call increases are typically from medical related calls, and EMS is seeing the increase in EMS calls.
And we're seeing an increase in the residential fire alarms pretty much throughout all of our districts. So.
So do you track the calls and where they go? Just for the fire department?
Yes.
Yes, and that's what those, every month when we do the joint fire committee meeting, that's what the chief's memo is. So I gotta track down as to what the call is and where it goes.
So, because I'm new to this, 1 year's time, percentage of village to township. When it comes to calls, over 100% of the calls, you divide them up, what would the percentage be? That's just,
Oh, like how many are in the village compared to how many are in the town?
yeah, 30 to 70, 60 to 40.
I think right now,
That was on the thing we got last meeting.
I got one right here.
And the other thing, you've got a third category, stuff going to Pleasant Springs and stuff on the internet.
Oh, they
Yeah,
bring
you
them
gotta
in,
remember how much is on the interstate. There's a lot of calls on the interstates.
well, mutual aid too. I mean, you get called to other territories.
I thought that was in there.
I think it'll be in, I didn't see it in this.
No, you're right.
I got one. Got one in here somewhere.
Is your last year's report on your website somewhere?
Yeah, it's under annual reports. If you go to, I think,
You got
publications.
total calls.
This one's from August, but the breakdown was 112 calls in the village and 70 in the town. So and total calls at the time was 245, so that was like 33 in Pleasant Springs and 30 mutual aid.
We'd be about 35%.
Which is what percent of the budget we pay, 34%.
No.
I mean,
So based on those numbers, like Kim said, we're kind of paying our fair share.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're paying your fair share, but like, once again, nothing's owned outright by either municipality. So if you decided that you wanted to split up for whatever reason, which to me, again, doesn't make much sense, then you'd be looking at buying out the other half of the municipality for the vehicles, the equipment. It's not just as simple as we're done, we're separating. You know, right now, the village owns 2/3 of the engine. They own 50% of the other engine. They own 50% of the ladder. You're talking about significant financial costs that would have to be figured out, that it's not as simple as we're just done, we're walking away. Like, there's pretty significant capital to that. So, but whatever.
Well, we went through it with the police force, you know,
One in
breaking up
That's all we need.
equipment and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the only trucks that are owned outright by the town are the two tenders. So, and even the building's only owned 51% by the town, so.
But as the village gets bigger, their share is gonna be more and more. Ours is gonna be less and less.
Which is what the equalized.
So we would have no reason to think about pulling up, and they might come out, oh geez, we're getting screwed, you know, like they normally do. But,
They want full-time firefighters on call.
yeah.
Would that be something when it comes to full-time firefighters? Is
You
that
only pay your
something that
34%.
would be on?
And it benefits the residents of the town at the same time.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly like Chief Lang just said, even if we need to hire full-time firefighters because the workload justifies that, it's not like they're gonna go, okay, the full-time firefighters will only be beneficial to the village. It would be a fire
Okay.
district still. So I mean, like, it would just decrease the response time for the town residents as well. And the town of Pleasant Springs residents, we would have a full-time fire engine if we hired a full-time crew that would be able to respond anywhere in our district. So,
And additionally, too, if we did a full-time fire inspector, we have the means to go ahead and cover the costs of that with the increased cost in the fire inspections. Like I brought up several weeks ago, what we're being charged, in different cities and stuff,
if you
so.
do inspection fees, you could offset some of it, but you guys also get 2% dues, which can be used to pay for a fire inspector.
But
Right now, you're using your 2% dues, they go into a bank account, which is being saved for the cost of the ladder when that comes, my understanding. The village and the town kind of agreed to do that, but then the village is kind of doing it differently because they don't like putting their money into savings accounts. They're trying to use their money to pay for other items that are covered by 2% dues to offset their 2% dues. So they're doing a little bit different, but that's another way to help.
So both of you guys believe we should do this study?
I believe there needs to be a uninterested third party to provide us with some information that will be valuable to our operation in the future. That they can have access and factor in things that we might be able to do, but it's their job to do it.
I was thinking, what year was the last study we did?
2022.
How long?
4, and then
2022.
data was 5 years, wasn't it?
That's what I'm asking. How many, were they looking at 5 years, 10 years?
They didn't have
In
a
that
date.
one? Huh?
They didn't have a date. And truthfully, like, the study said, for us, it was like, when your response times get to this scenario, then consider hiring full-timers. And we're not there yet. Like, we're still hitting our response times the way we're supposed to. But the point that we've been making, and like the point that we've been making with pay-per-call, was like, you're getting to the point now where you're more than a call per day. And that's a lot for a volunteer fire department to do. That's, it's actually kind of unheard of. Like, there's career departments in this county that are running 180 calls a year. We're running 365, 370. And we're not complaining about that, but at some point, as that continues to grow, you're asking a lot for volunteers to do. Like, more than multiple calls a day. They're leaving their jobs multiple times a day. They're leaving their families multiple times a day. And now they're going to get a little bit for pay, which is good. But realistically, That doesn't necessarily offset the time that they're gonna lose for going to, for not being at work, or the time that they're not gonna be at home with their family. So it's, it's just,
My
we're
thing,
trying to consider the future. as
just
things
looking at
get
the pie
bigger.
chart, I just was became part of the fire commission, whatever, and I questioned, stuff, that.
Yep.
And it seems to me there's got to be a better way of solving having to go out as many times as you do. And of course, one of the big ones, that stupid alarm thing.
Yep.
That's got to change. I mean, it's
I agree that that's the one.
and if it takes both of our boards to come up with a regulation, said, hey, you happen, you get a $500 fine or something. You know what I mean? To stop this from happening. That's just one of the things. I think seems to me that it's got to change.
So here's also part of the perspective that is also an EMS thing,
Yeah.
is that we look to the future and say that in a certain period of time, the Cottage Grove Metroplex will need another ambulance from us because of growth of the village and partially in the town. But as it stands right now, we don't have the ability to staff the space to put another ambulance in the building. So our future need, which we would estimate that to be 5-ish years from now, would be to have some form of extra base space. That probably coincides with some adjustments to the fire department in that, and I'm speaking for them, so if I'm wrong, they can say no, but right now they have a room, an association room, but if they want to encourage anything, they have no other space in there, nor is there other space in the building to expand to anything like that. So that's what this study is for, is to not look at what we need in 2026. It's look to see what we need in 2030, 2031, 2035. I don't know that they'd go out any further than that. But as the community grows, they can take what is the future growth areas, what's available for potential station locations, and all that information they can combine and make a very educated recommendation that we can't make. The only thing we can say is that we need space and we think we're gonna need it in 5 years.
I agree, and I would recommend, and I will move the recommendation that we request the qualifications and statements of intent from PAA and the Wisconsin Policy Forum and scheduling interviews as a joint village board and town board special meeting with both the fire chief and EMS chief. This is option A.
But which one?
What we, yeah.
Option A1?
A1.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to, I won't read it again, is
Well, I'm
to,
confused, so you might have to.
what's that?
I'm confused what she means, so you might have to.
Okay, what I have read is on the back of the memo. It's the recommendation. I recommend requesting qualifications and statements from intent from PAA and the Wisconsin Policy Forum. Then have interviews as part of a joint village town board meeting with the fire chief and the EMS chief.
Okay,
From
so
the back.
that's, you're seconding, that's basically the village president's recommendation and your
And I
recommending.
agree
the same
with it.
thing. Okay.
And the preferred funding is number 3.
3,
Correct.
yes.
Okay.
Thanks for clarifying that.
I'll second that again.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for coming.
How many calls did you say a day?
Right now, it's about 1 call a day, right around 1 call a day.
.08, I think.
Yeah, just over, right? Yeah.
We continue the current rate we're at, will be about 370 calls for the year.
So,
This is busy.
This is the sleepy little town that it once was.
No, it's definitely not.
If it was just for fire and emergency, going out with the ambulance or whatever, it would be perfect, but it's all the other junk. That's what gets me.
other junk?
Yeah, a lot of this alarm thing for one thing, to go into houses. You got a lot of those. I mean, that's ridiculous, right?
False alarms for the houses are a lot.
We should almost have a $500
What
fine.
did you say, Nick?
False alarms. We're
Yeah.
getting a ton of false alarm calls where it's like
Because everyone has their home.
people are installing like an ADT system or a household alarm system. And then they either burn food or something happens and it sets off the alarm. We get paged right away. We drive over there. And most of the time they don't even know we're coming. So we knock on the door. They have no idea. They're like, why are you guys here? Well, because your alarm system called us. So
Because people don't have.
They don't realize, do they? They get billed by their alarm company every time that sends you guys a notification.
You charge them for that?
we don't charge them for that because they
The
don't.
first
have-
one,
Uh,
you do something the second one, don't you, or something?
The village has an ordinance for like multiple false alarms. You can.
We both have the same ordinance.
Okay, so you both have an ordinance where like if you get multiple false alarms, you could get billed for something, but what it ends up being is like with these residential ones, it's like it happens at this person's house, but then it doesn't happen there again. But then it happens at their neighbor's house or somebody else down the street. So you educate the one person, but
Yeah.
educating the whole community takes a little bit more than that. And we've been working on educating the whole community. We did some work with the village and their pub ed stuff, put out some information about it. They posted it on their Facebook and their website and put it out for all their residents.
We would be happy to do that too, if you want to get us what you want us
Yeah.
to say.
I mean, we could give you the same article
Yeah.
where it just talks about that stuff.
So,
A teacher at Monona Grove High School I have his name. I'll get it to you. He wanted to do a project with the students that would have value for the community. And what you're describing, I think, sounds like the perfect project, Nick, because it would be educating the students. They would be learning about what this is causing to and their families. And hopefully that might help. I'll try and get that to you so that maybe you can talk to him and get this going.
Well, that's residential, single residential. What about multiple
Oh,
family?
you're gonna have, everything that's brand new is gonna have fire.
Yeah.
So the
alarms in
commercial,
it.
we had a really big problem with commercial for a while, about a year or two ago, but then the village updated their ordinance and it's actually gotten a lot better.
Okay.
There's a few right now that are kind of being problem childs. But there's a process where they're supposed to get X amount, then we work with the village police chief and he actually issues a citation. So, one of them has gotten to that point where they're getting a citation. And then another one's kind of close to getting a citation, so, and usually that's to try and.
But if you told everybody that went with a false alarm right away and said that this one's free, next one's $500 fine,
Mm.
you can bet that's gonna get around pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gotta be big enough where somebody's gonna go, ooh, geez, I better make sure my alarm system's working.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or make sure they answer the phone when you.
Yeah,
answer the
right.
call.
We don't use the alarm system as a food timer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I think right now, like, it's a third of all of our calls are
I
those
mean,
false
think of that.
Oh, my
I know,
gosh.
a third of the calls.
Right.
Oh,
Wonder if you could get rid of
That's
those
100.
calls.
that's 100 calls.
Yeah.
And then when you add in like, there's a couple other categories. I'll have the up-to-date one.
Yeah.
But a couple other categories, so there's false alarms are, again, this is from August. So for the total district at the time, 37% were 37%, that was the EMS and rescue, that's like
Yeah.
EMS assist and like car accidents and stuff. Total district at the time was 18% was false alarms. Another 9% were good intent calls. Those are ones where like somebody's driving by on the interstate or driving by something and they think, well, I should call the fire department for that. And then
Barn's on fire.
like, oh, there's a fire over there, so we gotta call the fire department. And then you get there and it's like somebody's doing a controlled burn of brush in the town. You get a lot of those calls. You know, they have a burn permit, somebody just called it in, or get a lot in the village because they're not allowed to burn sticks and yard waste in the village. So it ends up being like a neighbor dispute, you know, we get be in the middle of those quite a bit.
Jesus.
So that's, you know.
And then you have to support, won't you?
Not for
Sometimes.
all of them. It depends on what they get called in at. Is like if somebody says the house next door is on fire, I can see flames over the roof. That would get us dispatched to it. But then when we got on scene and saw that it was just a controlled burn, then we would be able to clear out of it. So a lot of the alarm calls we don't go along with because the fire department takes the opportunity to investigate what is in fact going on. If it's through their response, a structure fire response, then we'll get added to it to provide support. But we're not going to 100% of the calls they get dispatched for.
Thanks for explaining that. I appreciate it.
Anything else? Gentlemen, thank you so much.
I'm still on the agenda later. I'll hang out.
All right, next item. Discuss and consider approval of the agreement with Strand and Associates for landfill monitoring for 2026. And I will tell you that there was a 0 increase over what we paid this year for the same exact services. A few little bit of wording changes, but the nuts and bolts of the contract is that same money, same work.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion by Christie, second by Duplay to approve the Strand contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next item, consider Johnson Block cost proposal for audit services.
So for last year, the 2024 audit was, the contract price was, looked at that a long time ago, $15,875. And for 25, they're quoting 17,400, then 18, then 18,650.
They're quoting 17.4, but that we're paying that, right?
That's
part of the contract, isn't
That's
it?
what they're saying for 25 in their proposal, yes.
But this is 25.
Yeah, but they don't do the 25 audit until 26.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I think it's a reasonable increase compared to starting all over with
I do
another
too,
auditor.
yeah.
I'll move approval of the Johnson Block Company's audit proposal for years 2025, 2026, and 2027.
Second it.
Motion by Duplay, second by Christie to approve the proposal from Johnson Block for audit services. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried.
I love the very truly yours, and then somebody signs
Yeah.
Johnson Block and Company. You gotta be kidding. Is that Johnson Block? Is that somebody's name?
No, but it's, I don't know.
Isn't that crazy?
Johnson and Mr. Block.
Next item, discuss and consider moving the court clerk office to the police station.
You may have gathered from this that Danielle has given her resignation.
Yeah.
She's doesn't have a exact done date, but she's hoping to be done by Thanksgiving, she told me. But anyway, and you have a memo on your table from the judge about the moving it to the police station, and so And Steve has more information about that too, I think.
So Danielle,
Danielle King, our court clerk.
okay, so we had 3, including you, have been 4 people back there.
No,
She works out
she
of
works
this
out of
office
this
here.
office right there.
Oh, okay. Okay, so she gave me. And they were thinking moving that. over
Down there.
Police station.
Was she harassed?
That's, I mean, worry about that is a lot to do with why she's leaving.
Really? Well, you're here. I mean,
And so she doesn't have any, yeah, I'm tough, but.
I'm thinking something could happen at a trial or something
In a
at night.
trial, or, I mean,
I can see that.
We are all for this in the office because
Yeah.
she only works when needed, okay? And people come in here all the time wanting to pay their fines, and if she's not here, lots of times they aren't very happy because we're not part of the court and we don't have access to all their information. We can't set up payment plans, we can't do that stuff. And they think we should be able to, and it can get pretty tense. So we are all for this, to have that office be moved down to the police station.
And most people stop at the firehouse first before they get here.
Do they?
What's that?
Most people stop at the ESB next door before they come over here.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a big number that want to come and pay their fines to us, whether it be village or town. We get villages.
Well,
stuff
I
in
think
there
it
too.
makes perfect sense.
So I don't know if Steve can talk more about the logistics and what he's
Yeah.
found down there.
Thanks. For those, Mike, you probably remember back from when our police department operates out of there.
That's right.
The PD was designed for our 3 deputies, okay? Because of the fact they took up so little space there, the several county detectives are now working out of there, which, an extra gun and a badge, can potentially help us. Well, the county's filling it up even more because the construction for the new jail, and they're looking to put bodies because they're kicking them out of the city county building. So anyway, long story short, the way the building is set up, where you walk in the front door, there's 2 doors, the outer door and then the inner door, but there's a window, a small one similar to what like Kim has, a counter there. And then there is an office where the original secretary for the PD back when we had our own was there. And right now, there's a couple of deputies that are sharing that, just because they're looking to every nook and cranny of that place. But what I'm talking with the county now is to move the 2 female detectives that are in there back to one of the conference rooms that's not being used, and then trying to move Danielle and or her replacement over there. Couple of thoughts on this, as you may have read from the judge's correspondence, is that number 1, we remove any references on the town websites or the court's website for any face-to-face discussion, period. Either call, email, snail mail, whatever. So that person wouldn't have any contact. And it would also go on the town's website, hopefully, so would cut down on the potential for Kim and or Jen so, or you somehow figure out hours that she would be, or the person, I should say, would be down to PD, and then they could take face-to-face visits, or you simply put a drop box up there. People will want to pay their fines, stick it in the drop box, and, they check it, kind of thing. So I guess because of the fact that I haven't got firm details as far as the logistics on moving down there yet, we're kind of up in the air right now, but that would be from the looks of it, everybody's preference is to move that person down there. Or if for some reason, and here's another thing that Kim said, we pay, what'd you say, $25,000?
When you add up the lease and the taxes and the insurance and everything else for that building, we're paying, about $25,000
down
a
there.
year to have
Yeah.
that building, so.
I think,
Why not?
and we should have a say in what we're paying for,
I'm
we've
all
been,
for
we've
it.
been good.
Yeah, I don't have a problem either, but is that she wouldn't stay if that was done?
She's already given her resignation, yeah.
Boy, we just can't keep how long has she been here?
20.
5 years?
Yeah, not quite that long.
Oh, 5 years? Oh, really?
No, I don't
4
think
years?
it's that long. 3 or 4.
I remember
What's her name was only here a year,
Vicky.
not even.
yeah, boy.
She was only here like 10 months.
Yeah. That was a nice time.
Danielle said she was leaving before, but then she continued. So
I think this time, I don't think that's gonna happen,
Yeah.
but.
when we hired her, she said that she's from New Hampshire and she's planning to return.
Mhm.
So we knew it wouldn't be a long time.
It's a lot better state than New Hampshire. I didn't throw that out.
Wow. Wow.
So, so that's the direction I would like to head.
I don't
You know,
see why we would.
I'm for it.
Sounds good.
And then
So, I mean,
we
as
would
far as-
still,
I mean, I don't know, so we pay for internet over there. She would need a phone line, obviously, another phone line. The internet is Charter, I'm sure we can get another phone line in there somehow with Charter. I haven't looked into it at all. She has a desktop printer, she would probably need some kind of a scanner, but that's pretty minimal. What else did I figure out she would probably need? Printer, scanner, phone, internet. It probably should be, she's got a computer, I mean.
now here's the thing, which I didn't realize until I read the judge's correspondence, that they would want this office during their trials and during court and everything.
Yeah,
But do we need to have a computer in there as well as down there?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
I don't think so. They have our old office laptop that they use for their Zoom meetings and stuff. So
Oh,
they can
okay.
still use that, and I don't think I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. But I suppose that's a question, is she gonna need are they gonna need access to records? We could set up something where whoever it is could remote in to that computer, because that's already what Danielle's been doing quite a bit, is remoting into her computer and working from home. And so she could still do that from here. We could set up something easily for that.
And with the locking system that we have now, is that building under the same?
That building is way more secure, yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
So she-
right now, the only way you can get into that building is if you have a key and are vetted by the sheriff's department to the tune of being background checked, fingerprinted, the whole
Oh,
nine
right.
yards.
Yeah, so would that change your hiring then?
They'll have to pass all that, yes, they'll have to pass all the security of the sheriff's office.
And I guess, given Danielle's concerns, Kim and Jen's concerns about contact with defendants, maybe I'll make the suggestion that we just, no personal contact. I mean, we don't offer office hours, I guess, face-to-face office hours.
You wanna put in the thing there? It pulls out, right? You go in and you put your check or whatever
The Dropbox.
in a Dropbox or something, right?
Yeah, we could certainly do a Dropbox.
I don't know what that building has for that.
I don't either.
Is there anything like that over there?
I thought there was one right by the window, but maybe
Right,
I'm
but
wrong.
you have to have access to the inside.
Inside, yeah, inside there is. You have to go in the building, no, but
Yeah, in the first door.
But if you do a Dropbox, you'd want that in the outside door, outside the outside door.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody going anywhere. You'd want them just, here's a Dropbox for your tickets.
Okay,
Put a stainless steel Dropbox out there and secured drop
Or
boxes.
couldn't you have it so that it would drop into that vestibule between the two doors? You wouldn't want that?
It's all
No,
glass.
because you're not inside.
So you're saying even if,
You don't want people to go in to the,
No,
because you have to push a button to even get in the outside door.
oh, I want them outside,
Yeah.
but that I
No,
would
there's
have,
nothing that goes inside from there,
No,
outside.
it's-
In the outside area, that's just
It's a brick, right?
just brick wall, yeah.
Yeah.
you couldn't cut a hole in the brick wall and
There's no access from that brick wall to the inside of the building. It's just like a brick wall on the outside of the building. You know what I mean? That brick wall doesn't touch inside at all.
take another look.
You have to go down and look at it. It's just two brick walls and you can literally walk around those walls and see the outside of them. It's just an entryway.
Okay.
so you're saying even if we move the clerk down there, you still wouldn't want to have face-to-face contact? Okay.
Correct.
Well, and the other thing, I mean, when Danielle was proposing to leave before, it was because, it was, one of the issues were, that, I guess because we were getting put on the spot so much in our office with people coming in and wanting to pay, and she wasn't working 8 to 12:30 like we were looking for some kind of set hours from her. And she didn't want to do that, and then the judge finally stepped in because it is his position and said, yeah, she doesn't have to do that, and then she stayed. So we had some compromise where she provided us minimal information so that we could at least know what people owe, but we can't really go any further than that, and that has helped some. So anyway, but I mean, there have been some tense times. We had a photo tacked up in the office for a while of a guy that we needed to be aware could be a problem. So I mean, this has been an issue. A lot of the times, and I try not to be here on Wednesday afternoons when there's court, because a lot of the defendants will come in the afternoon and ring the bell and expect somebody to go help them. And I generally do go to the door if I'm alone, but on court day, I don't want to be the one here. So I'm not usually scared very much compared to some people, but I'm respecting some of those warnings.
All you need is one good shot from a person, as far as good contact with them
Yeah.
to really tarnish things.
Don't say good shot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a bad, that was a bad choice of
Well,
words. Shock.
Shot, oh, yeah, well, that's what you said.
So anyway, I think that it also makes sense that if you take away the contact, then you take away the requirement to have set hours, because it is very variable. And I mean, Danielle works pretty minimally. She's very efficient and works pretty minimally. And, she didn't want to have to stay here just to be here when she said she was going to be, if there wasn't anything else to do. And so I think that,
All right,
having contact.
let's play devil's advocate for a second. If we took away all contact requirements, why doesn't she stay here? I mean, the person stay here.
Mhm. I mean, you can talk to the judge about that, I guess, and see how he feels about that. I still wouldn't want
But
anybody
it's still
to
not
know.
gonna stop people from coming in when you're here.
Yeah, they shouldn't
And
be
why?
coming in and paying you guys either.
No, but I'm just saying, nobody is gonna know she's here, or the person is here, because of the fact that you're gonna post all over God's creation that the only way to get a hold of the court clerk is phone or.
Where's your Dropbox gonna be?
That would be the Dropbox place right here, the same as down there. We'd have to have one of those here. That makes
Well,
sense.
actually, we do have a through the wall
But anytime
Dropbox.
we're open, they're gonna bring it into us.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want to stop that face-to-face interaction. So having a Dropbox here is gonna
Agreed, I see your
keep that
point.
available.
But you're locked up in the afternoon.
But we're here all morning.
Yeah, but I mean, you are in a locked office.
Yeah, that,
No, not really.
Well, I mean, you are.
That's just a
I
piece
mean,
of
anybody can
plexiglass.
jump through, break a window, break anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bulletproof or anything like that, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you are a little bit secure.
Yeah, but-
I will continue to,
But you put a Dropbox at a police station, it's a little different than a Dropbox at a town hall.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That is a
do I
good
really
idea.
wanna go pay my check
Yeah.
down here?
Yeah.
where there's
But there's
police
nothing to
officers.
say you couldn't go
and
down there and
deputies.
pick up the stuff in the Dropbox and come back here.
The other thing is that the mail, we maybe would not want the mail to come here and we might want to get a PO box for court payments instead of having the mail go anywhere, because then that doesn't give anybody a clue of where she might be.
Sure.
That's a good idea.
Do they get mail at the PD down there?
I don't know what they do, but I don't know if they do or
They go
not,
through the sheriff's department, don't they?
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
so-
probably have
I mean, how do you
email.
want this motion stated?
Might be better to have a PO box so that no payments are sitting in a mailbox.
PO box or not, or further study or what?
Further, I would say further study about.
They have a mail basket in their office down there. So I think they have an inner staff guy runs it around.
Yeah, I'd
make
just
a
say
mo-
for my purposes is that whatever decision you make is just make sure that I know about it so that I can direct people the right way.
Yeah.
I would make a motion that we would move the office of county clerk down to the police station.
Town clerk.
And then
Court clerk.
court clerk, I'm sorry. And then look into further studying how to accept payments. And also that we make it so that there is no face-to-face contact with the court clerk.
Second.
We have a motion.
She said second. I
Oh,
think.
did she? Oh,
I
I'm sorry.
did, I said second.
All right. Motion's the Dupuy and Christie show tonight. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Discuss and consider starting wage for the new court clerk hire.
So the judge is the boss, and so it's really his job to do the hiring, and I have offered that we'll assist however he needs, and he hasn't really said what assistance he wants, other than he has looked over the position description and the ad that we used last time and said, go ahead with those, but you guys are the purse strings, so you guys can say what you want to offer for a range. I told him what we were offering for a range for the deputy clerk position, and I thought that was probably appropriate here too, and he thought that would be fine, so.
Okay, let's go with that.
22 to
22
28.
to 25,
Kim, you want to make a motion?
no.
So would it be in the same range as Danielle's?
Danielle's a little higher because she's been here a while.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
fine.
she's 2704, just like Amber was when she left, because they started about the same time.
Okay. I'll move that we consider the starting wage for the court clerk to be $22 to $25 an hour.
Second.
Motion by Dupuy, second by Fonger to approve the wage range for the new court clerk. Discussion?
You have to add in there what the qualifications.
Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's in your description.
Opposed,
though.
same sign, motion carried. Next item, discuss and consider requiring 2 rather than 3 signatures on checks. And Kim could explain
Well,
that.
this is just something that I brought up because technically our ordinance doesn't really fit now that you have a clerk treasurer instead of a clerk. It used to always be the chair, the clerk, and the treasurer had to sign the check, but when you have a combined clerk treasurer, it's the chair and the clerk treasurer. We've been having the chair, the clerk / treasurer, and a deputy clerk or a deputy treasurer. And so if one or now, well, just especially now until we get somebody hired, if either Jen or I are gone, we can't issue checks, you know? So I don't know, but I mean, if you still like to have that third person, I understand that too. I just thought I would bring it up.
I move that we go to having 2 signatures on checks.
Second?
The bank, this is interesting. The bank doesn't care at all. Like they'll take a check. And because I said our checks all have 3 signatures, that's okay. We only need 1 signature for it to be valid with us anyway. So
But my thing would be, you have 3, but you only need 2 of the 3 on the checks. So
well, yeah. Oh, yeah.
is
we
that what
do.
you were thinking?
Yeah,
Because
Jen
if
and
somebody
I-
goes away,
Jen and
you
I
can
can
still have 2.
both sign, but this way we don't have to both be here on the day that we need to sign checks.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get away
Okay,
from.
that makes sense.
Don't we have one of those electronic signers yet?
I don't,
Well, there-
like-
Ooh,
I don't like-
AutoPad.
I don't like those. No.
Dear girl
Sweet.
has 2 signed signatures.
did you want to verify that it's chair and,
It has to be the chair and the clerk treasurer, or the chair and the deputy clerk treasurer, or the chair alternate and the clerk. It can't be like two
No.
people from the office and you, or you two. It has to be a board person and an office person, basically. Yeah.
Is that your motion?
Yes,
And
that's
that's
my
just by
motion.
statute too.
Got it. All right, we're all straight. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Discuss and consider quotes for the new multi-function copier lease. Boy, oh boy.
So I gave you a kind of a summary here. So the first thing I did was I contacted Gordon Flesh, who is our current vendor, and I told them we needed a replacement for our Canon copier, which is coming out of lease soon. So he came in with a quote for a new Canon. I also talked to Dymax and Corporate Business Systems, because those two are both constantly calling me. And so you can see that they came in. I told them I was trying to replace a Canon. Neither one of them offered a Canon. Each of them offered a different HP, and then one offered a Lexmark and the other offered a Ricoh. So I thought, well, maybe Gordon Flesh would like to offer an HP because all the other two did, and we'd have something comparable. And you can see from what I got back that they said they don't because they're too much trouble. I also surveyed the clerk's list to see if anybody had anything to tell me if they'd used HPs or Canons and what they liked and what they didn't like. I didn't get a huge response, but it was definitely more in favor of Canons being more reliable and Gordon Flesh being a good vendor. So I know that Gordon Flesh is the highest price by quite a bit, but I'm really hoping that you will decide to go with that.
When you say quite a bit, how much is that?
When you add up all the 60 months, it's 12,833 versus 8,500 for the two HPs. And I probably wouldn't look at, well, no, one's 10 and one's 85. So it's a significant difference, but a copier is so crucial in what we do. A copier goes down at the wrong time, we're in a world of hurt. And
Is there anything
So it's
just,
a 5-year lease though?
it's a 5-year lease, yeah.
That's not bad.
would this do more than the one we have now? I mean, does it-
It's about the same. Obviously, I always come with a few new bells and whistles. I think this will scan, like we do a lot of scanning where I scan to my computer and then it goes up to Google Drive and we all share it. I think this will go straight to Google Drive. You know, they're always improving stuff like that, but Eric, you guys still have a Canon, don't you?
Yeah, we got a new one last year and our new scanner scans both sides at the same time.
Yeah, ours does too. The old one does.
So how is this compared to what we're currently paying?
It's quite a bit more. Currently, our lease is $112 a month, so it's $100 more a month. Yeah.
But as you saw in the correspondence, the idea, and like I mentioned too, where if some of these other companies are saying, okay, here's your parts, and they mail them to us,
Yeah.
you know, you gotta worry about.
I mean, I don't know if either one of these are gonna do that. They both had long spiels in there, and I didn't put it all in your packet, but I emailed you guys the whole thing from the other two. Corporate business, we did have 2 leases of Ricoh machines or Savin machines prior to our lease with Gordon Flesh. They were okay, I can't complain, but I think Gordon Flesh has had superior service. Dymax, I really don't, I don't have any really knowledge of how they might be. They seem very thorough in their presentation. And I guess I have the most confidence in Gordon Flesh, and I like the Canon machine. I don't know what HP big multi-functions are like, but HP desktops have never replaced, desktop printers have never impressed me much. They don't last.
I was just-
That's this one? Or
The one
you
with the
said
color
des- desktop?
No, well, that's the next thing.
Oh, okay.
That's the next thing. But anyway, it's up to you guys, obviously.
Well, the big thing is if it doesn't work, well, can't we say, hey, we're done with you? You don't want to go through that, obviously.
It's a 5-year lease, yeah.
Yeah, But I'm saying if they don't do the lease properly.
If they don't do the lease properly, yeah, I mean, if they default on their obligations to the lease, I suppose you would have some recourse.
If you had Gordon Place right now,
Yeah,
how come it doubled in price? Almost.
just like everything else, I think.
Boy, that's a lot though. I mean, great, that's 100%.
What surprised me is the fact that, you know, with the HP, excuse me, from Dymax, if you want to go faster, it costs you more money.
Yeah, yeah, they got a lot of little upgrades, yeah.
Yeah, why not just set it at, yeah, I just,
I don't necessarily have a problem with getting the top of the line in Gordon Flush. You know, I would make a motion that we accept Gordon Flush's bid for $12,833.80.
Well, why don't you just accept the 217.53 a month,
Oh.
because that's what the actual quote was. I just added it up for you.
Oh, okay. I move approval of the $217.53 per month for 60 months from Gordon Flush.
Second.
motion and a second to approve the Gordon Flush quote for the copier, scanner, and
17.53 a month.
yes. Any discussion?
What are we doing now?
Yeah, we're gonna approve Gordon Flush's quote for the $217.53 per month, 53 a month. And
Nice.
I don't know if it's because we signed a 6-year agreement, but ours was 121.
When was that?
January last year.
That's Gordon Flick.
Yeah.
That seems to be,
But that said, we signed a 6-year agreement, you signed a 5-year agreement, right? Or you're about to, you
Well,
just
actually,
approved a
the
5-year?
lease is 205, and the 270.15.53 is their estimate after overages, based on the overages that we usually have, because they usually set a base amount
Yeah.
of copies in the lease, and then they charge you for any extras, and based on our average extras, that's what he came up with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lease is 205, that's what he told us.
Much of the overage?
He estimated 12.53 a month. I mean, they vary.
Depends on what you copy and if it's color or
We
not.
try to make sure that you're always over, because you don't want to pay for more than you're using. So you always
Yeah.
kind of would rather have an
Right.
overage a little bit. But yeah, I know, it is high. It is definitely higher.
So this would be an opportunity that if we're both around in 5 years, let's see if we go together on 2,
Yeah,
if it drives the price down a little bit.
you'll be here. I don't think I will.
Who knows, it's 5 years from now. Might be on the
I think
beach,
I'll be here either, but
might be
we'll
on
be
a
in
beach
different
in
places.
Tahiti, you never know.
Stop. Ollie, boy, stop.
all right, next item, discuss and consider the
We
purchase.
didn't vote, did?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, sorry. Where was that?
Discuss and consider the purchase of a desktop printer for the town office.
So this was just something that I brought up, because if you remember, we did not update Steve's computer in the office, so he's offline from everybody else, because he has Windows 10 and there's security holes with that. So this is the other printer that's what, $179 or something. This is a Brother laser printer that's just a desktop printer that could be available for Steve. It could also be available, if we got in a pinch, it could be available to print, like from the kiosk, if someone needed to print a receipt, it's wireless, it would print without being on our network, it would be standalone. So it's not a necessity, but just something to solve Steve's problem when he wants to print things once in a while. And
What does that mean, laser printer?
laser versus inkjet. So it's just the technology of the printing. It's like, it's more like a copier than like inkwells. So it's a lot cheaper prints. It's a lot the cartridges are expensive, but they go a long ways and they don't dry up, and it's just a black and white one. There's,
So we would own that one,
yeah, that's just,
but you can buy for about the same price. You can buy one with you load with the inks,
yeah,
ink well.
I don't want one of those.
We've had one for 5 years and it's been perfect,
We don't need color.
you know?
We don't need color because the big copier does color beautifully. We just need something to print some black and white prints of some emails, basically, and stuff like that. So I'm just looking for a simple desktop option. Again, it's not really a necessity, but it's something that would give Steve something to print to mainly, versus updating his computer so that he could have Windows 11, which would be 3 or 4 times that.
I move,
Have
Go ahead.
approval of the desktop printer for the town office for Steve
Second.
Hughes, the brother, HL 2460DW.
Motion and second discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Dan, you're up. Public Works.
Right-of-way permits, since the last meeting we had, we've got 4. 3 of them from Reliant Energy, all new house hookup, or runs, I should say. 2552 Gaston Road, electric and gas hookup for the new house, the Scalas. 3489 on Scarston Road, electric and gas hookup for new house. 2165 Wooded Ridge Trail, electric and gas. And then TDS has one for Kennedy Road, and that's just a tie-in fiber to the new subdivision at Kennedy Hills. That one came in too.
weren't you gonna talk to Scholars about moving that drain? Where they put in that where they put the driveway into that new building?
Yeah, he re-landscaped his whole front ditch for me.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
Okay.
He added a ton of dirt. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Drive by a lot.
Yeah. And then he's got overflow on the other side. He made a little gravel scully or whatever you want to call it.
I was just worried that.
It's where he wants it, so we'll let him flood himself out if it happens. It should, all the water should run now that he added the dirt and got the water that runs off the road back to where his culvert is.
Okay.
It should be fine.
What was going on Violet's Hope today with stoplights?
That's Intercon doing the burial for Alliant Energy.
Okay,
They're burying all the power
okay,
out there like they did on Vilas.
okay.
Yeah,
All right, I
they
a
have
question about that.
stoplights for security,
Okay,
just for their safety.
They're putting all the poles, getting rid of them?
All the poles are gonna be gone.
No kidding. Wow, that's
Hopefully
great.
by frost, they said.
Wow.
They'll be pulling all the stuff down here on Vilas here soon, all the power, as soon as Alliant Energy gets all their hookups made. Cause they get all that buried already and re-landscaped nice.
They did. It looks nice.
But yeah, they're working on that. That was a right-of-way permit a couple months ago. Other than that, yeah, it's just been fall mowing, getting ditches looking nice, and we'll be trimming trees here now too, a lot more. And parks are hopefully slowing down. Hopefully.
I want to make a comment when they striped Gaston after the repave by the Marks Farm on the 90-degree curve there, they put the frost or the fog line. I have been amazed how people before were dropping off onto the shoulder and throwing gravel up. It's been a lot cleaner. I mean, people see that line and are actually trying to avoid it, and it looks like you get the same effect down in Violet's Hope on the hard 90 there by Galar.
We pretty much did all the hard 90s in the whole township when we did it.
They look good.
Yeah.
Did you notice it down on Hope too? We did that
Yes.
curve too. That's really helped with that one too.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, clerk treasurers.
I don't know exactly how many. We've got a lot of applications. Unfortunately, nothing that really stands out. We're getting a lot of people that just don't, have any kind of office background, a lot of medical people. I'm kind of letting Jen lead it. And she's sent out, they're applying on Indeed. We review what they have there, resumes and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll send our official application to the ones that seem like they show any promise, but she's got nothing yet that she really thinks is it. There might be a couple that might be worth talking to about the court clerk position though. Once we advertise that, we might go back and point them in the direction of that, but it's not very promising. She's kind of surprised and dismayed, I think.
And how many local?
Not very many.
But there are some.
That's what's interesting. There's hardly any local.
Wow.
It's interesting to see how far they're interested in coming for such a low hours and short day job. And then there's several that are in, that are like post-retirement, which, I don't know that would further our ultimate goal is the problem. Kind of been there, done that. So I don't know. She hasn't really got anybody that she wants to interview yet. So I've kind of left it to her. But
No, but we expected it to take a while.
so, right. Yeah. In the meantime, we're fine. We're doing fine. She's been working pretty much 4 days a week and that works for now. So.
Should bring Penny back.
Oh my God.
Wasn't that something?
Oh,
Uh,
you're gonna give me nightmares tonight.
I had them all the time when she was here. Elected official, Terrible.
Board reports and communications. Deer Grove EMS.
You just covered it with the budget.
Yeah, we talked about the budget. We gave updates on the collective bargaining agreement and the vehicle purchase. I think one thing that the village's update reminded me of is we had a lot of good people write in with correspondence, making good statements about the work we do. I say we, but I don't do any of that actual work. There's the people on the street do the actual work, and they get people that regularly write in to say what good jobs that we've done, whether it be directly from family, thanking for efforts to save a loved one, or simply, I think we got some that you just smiled at us. That's not the actual statements, but that we get a lot of people that write us in support of our staff.
I saw the new ambulance after the previous meeting
Yeah.
in Deerfield because they were there with
Yep.
it, and I love it. They also said that they are pleased with the mileage that it's getting and the price when they go fill up. It's
Well,
so much cheaper.
I mean, they have to fill up more often. We knew that. I think the theory would be is that as opposed to trying to go a call or two or three calls, they're just running a call and getting gas right away rather than, so if you run a call at 3 p.m., you go fuel up, you finish the rest of your duties, and then you get a call at midnight. Well, now that call at midnight, you don't have to go get gas. So it's basically a quarter tank per call, and that's whatever a quarter of 40 gallons is. So, I mean, they're not spending a lot of money because they're refueling it sooner.
What's the mileage on something like that?
I think it's 6. 6 is pretty standard. And it's very driver dependent. Obviously, we know with how safety conscious you are, Mike. If you're driving it, you probably get 15 or 20.
That's about what I get in my car.
6?
I'm just kidding.
But, obviously we start off our response with firing it up cold and matting it to the floor, so that doesn't lead for good gas mileage. But everything has been flawless with that. Update will be, we had some vehicle repairs we had to do abruptly through the DOT inspection, so that'll come out at our next meeting.
It's always going to be expected you're going to get something that's unexpected.
We've been pretty lucky in that seemed like once we finally got our third ambulance, everything settled back in, and we're gonna have some non-stressful vehicle maintenance times. Also, we had heard, not heard, but been verified that Rescue 30 from Dane County had been in a crash. So it wasn't available. Of course, those are times when your own ambulance starts to have problems. So I'm of the mindset, having grown up the son of a mechanic, that once you figure something out, especially on an emergency vehicle, you got to get it handled rather than letting it fester. So when we find those things, we get them in and taken care of.
That big landfill, new contract for this year, or for, excuse me, for next year. Paid the bills. Tina came and, our engineer, and kind of gave an overview of what they did throughout the year and the results of the overall testing throughout the year, and things are looking as good as they possibly could at the landfill, and no exceedances above what we normally expect for
Readings.
free up for gas wells and the water monitoring, so we're all good there. Cottage Grove Fire, we talked about that, I think, to death tonight.
Yeah.
Emergency government.
We passed the budget. And we passed the budget for Flint Hall, both.
Correct, but the Flint Hall agreement expires at the end of this year. The village took the agreement back for review, the existing one. The village president mentioned that the new PD is gonna have a community room in it.
Yeah.
She didn't know how big or what its use was gonna be, who it was gonna be limited to. And, so I think she has designs, this is just an assumption on my part, that, well, some of the usage from Flint Hall could be directed over to the new community room at the PD, and maybe the village is gonna look to pay less. I don't know. We'll find out. But the interesting thing also is that, Cindy, the village president, thought that we weren't marketing Flint Hall well enough because there were so many open weekends where it wasn't rented. So then the village has, what's this person's title? The library coordinator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jen had a call from the library coordinator or whatever, inquiring about using Flint Hall on Monday nights for a library cooking class or something. And Jen told her that it is, that's a standing date for the Scouts. And this person thought that they should take precedent over the Scouts, so, I don't know.
Nice.
But as far as marketing Flint Hall, I never thought we were there to make money on that place. I thought it was to be offered as a community service. It's a lot of work. That building is a lot of work for these guys, for us to keep track of who's got it rented and if they get their deposit back. And we do not want to promote it. That it's not. I mean, I don't know, maybe you.
Not an Airbnb.
That hasn't been the idea. It's been a community space. I think.
I feel like somebody's in there almost every weekend.
Well, sort of. I mean, there's so much civic group use and stuff like that. And it depends on the time of the year. Sometimes of the year, like graduation time and stuff like that, it's really busy holidays. Then there's other times of the year that it's not so much, but like we hate it when they rent it somebody Saturday and somebody Sunday because there's nobody there to check it in between. We do not want to promote it to this extent that we start bringing in, especially people outside the community. That just creates more problems than it's worth for us, unless you guys think different.
And when Cindy saw how much we charge for an out-of-town rental person. She was quite surprised in a negative way because, we're never gonna rent
But that's the
two.
goal.
But that's the
Correct.
whole point.
I
Exactly.
still am of
That's
the opinion that you could just flat out not rent to anybody that isn't a town or village resident and not even have that non-resident rate. That sounds so crazy, because that is how people take it.
But we get 1 or 2 a year.
Yeah, you get it. No, yeah, but they're usually the ones that cause all the problems.
are.
And that's why we have that rate so high, because we've had trouble with that. And so, I don't know, but anyway.
And there was the discussion also with regards to having a rental fee without the kitchen and a rental fee with the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
And that's kind of up in the air. I don't think we
Well,
ever did.
what we approved was going to 7,500 rather than 6,500
Mhm.
because of Wi-Fi. Basically, that was,
Mhm.
we put, now that's gonna be a utility or,
Move that up into the
yeah, that
three-way
made
split.
sense.
Yeah.
I went through the whole document again. I don't know what you change. Other than maybe maximum of 9,000 or something in the future or something like that, or.
I guess, correct. I do agree with you, Mike, but I'm just kind of walking on eggshells a little bit, not knowing what the village is gonna come back with.
Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you.
Is it the end of the world if they pull out? They're paying,
No,
what, they're paying
it's not at all.
$2,700 a year or something like that? That's what they're paying. So now you go to charge the village residents just a little bit more than you charge town residents.
Make up the $2,700.
And make it up and not have them.
Yep, sounds perfectly
It's not
fine to
like they're
me.
paying a ton.
It's mostly rented by the village.
And it is mostly rented by village.
So
Most,
they're
I mean,
making out like a bandit.
mostly, but it's a higher number of village.
It's way higher.
Yeah.
I know most of the people that rent it, it's.
Yeah, so I mean, there's where you can charge a little bit more, not a lot, enough to discourage them, but just say, hey, your taxes don't pay for this building like the town residents do, so we need a little more.
And they don't just, well, the president there just doesn't quite understand. We own this building, we can do it really what we want. That's what it really comes down to. We don't need them. But it's nice having them,
Yeah.
because we're doing good for the village, like Christie always says. And
Well,
they get
yeah.
a heck of a deal by renting that.
The village residents that rent it really appreciate it,
Yeah.
and they wouldn't like it if, they didn't have that chance but,
The Lions appreciate having the building and American Legion, we sure do. And everybody that's getting it for free, that's a hell of a good deal. And that's what it should be for.
yeah.
The Historical Society down the basement and, it's a good thing.
Nice to have the blood drives there and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Perfect. And it's in good shape. The building is.
Yes.
Yeah, we've taken good care of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't have an official agreement as of
Yeah,
right now, but
Not official.
it's correct. So,
If the village person wants to do it, if they don't participate, you can remind them that the police department has a community room.
yeah,
Why would
And I
we call
could
about
just-
having a library at Flynn Hall? I mean, that even makes sense.
They're trying to
They
use,
get classes in their community room now.
they have classes there now. They use the banks
Yeah.
for things and the coffee shops for programs. So I'm sure that was why she thought
Yeah.
this would be another one.
I got it in one of the emails I got from the village president, said that Grace Coffee, their room, they charge $100 an hour.
Oh, God.
Where?
Grace
At
Coffee
Grace
down by
Coffee
Quick Trip.
up here.
You use it for the library program?
Whatever, they just, I don't know anything about Grace Coffee because I don't drink the stuff. So, but they said apparently they have a room or rooms up there.
They don't, because I was there for coffee one morning and the library had a group there at the same time. And we coexisted, I couldn't hear people talking at the table and I'm not sure the kids could hear what they were doing, but we were all in the same room. That was their room. If
And they
paid
still charge
$100
$100.
No, what I'm
paid
saying, they have a
$100
separate
for
room,
that.
because I was,
Oh, she said that it is a
there is a
separate.
separate room.
Oh, okay.
And if you're gonna pay $100 an hour for it, I can see why they were out with the regular customers.
Yeah.
So,
Move we adjourn.
Second it.
motion and a second to adjourn, non-debatable. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your patience, everyone.
We got a lot done. We had a
We
lot.
did.